It's Western Athletic Conference Baseball, and it's here on ESPN. It's another matchup, the Big 12 and the Western Athletic Conference. TCU makes a short trip west down I-20 to visit the ACU Wildcats. An absolute pristine spring day here in Abilene, Texas. Welcome to Crutcher Scott Field on the campus of Abilene Christian University. Andy Penny alongside Jaden West. For the Wildcats of ACU, halfway through Western Athletic Conference play, looking for some momentum as they'll start the second half this weekend. For TCU, trying to build off some momentum after taking 2 of 3 versus Texas Tech.
Yeah, absolutely. They had a really solid weekend last weekend against Texas Tech in Lubbock, where they were able to win Game 2 and Game 3. Started off really hot this season, 13-0, that 13th win coming against the Wildcats up in Fort Worth. But then after that, they went 8-12 since then, so struggling a little bit, especially on the offensive side of the ball. Looking to put up some runs on the board today and try to win a midweek matchup against a really good ACU team.
Pair of 20-win teams on the field today, the Wildcats and the Horned Frogs. Jaden and I will be upstairs. We'll bring you the play-by-play this evening, but more down here on the field will come from Daisy Strine. She's our third member. Hey, Daisy.
Thanks, guys. This season, TCU is 22-12 overall, but they've only won 3 of their 8 away games. ACU, however, is 12-6 at home right here in Abilene, Texas. The last time they beat TCU was back in March of 2022. The score was 6-2. It could be a great game here tonight in Abilene, Texas. For now, we'll send it over to the guys at the desk.
Thank you, Daisy. Coy Oslin, Zion Webb here, right here on the first baseline. Wonderful setup, wonderful weather tonight. And Zion, they say Fort Worth is where the West begins here in Texas, the gateway to West Texas, and we are in West Texas. ACU and TCU here, of course, very close to TCU, 150 miles west out here in Abilene, and quite the pitching matchup today. Of course, these midweek games, you get a little bit of a bullpen game, Zion, and for right now, for ACU, they're sending out their grad righty, Brett Garcia.
Yes, sir, and Brett Garcia, he has the opportunity to do some great things today. I know he's throwing pretty good this year. Having 11 walks is his kryptonite this year for him. So just making sure that he throws strikes early and gets it done early out the way, he'll be fine.
And ACU in these midweek games, they've struggled against these Power 5 teams, these Big 12 teams, Zion. And what you're seeing right now is a guy like Braden Sloan going out there who is very familiar with ACU. He's faced them before. We've seen them this season. He's gone over 6 innings just once, but he's been a short inning guy too. But he has the ability to go that distance if they need him to.
Yeah, for sure. And for Sloan, the biggest thing for him is going to be confidence. Going into this game, facing lower opponents, quote unquote, for him, it's just throwing strikes and being confident in whatever he throws. Going against Arizona, he threw 6 innings, 13 strikeouts, only allowing 3 hits. For him, that was straight confidence, relying on his breaking balls and trusting the slurve and changeup. Like I said, his confidence being high today is going to be great working for him.
Yeah, and Zion, ACU coming into this game, it feels like every midweek game they're playing someone hot. Last week it was Texas Tech on a big winning streak. Here's TCU, who just knocked off Texas Tech in a 3-game series this past weekend. How do you feel about this game, Zion? Be completely honest with me.
Man, I feel like it's going to come down to ACU just trusting and doing the little things, trying to put the ball in play, not being too big with their swings. That's going to help them against this heavy TCU pitching staff. So just the little things, keeping it simple, that'll be big for them.
All right, well, hey, Jaden and Andy have it up in the booth. We're down here. We'll hold down the fort, and we'll see y'all in a little bit.
Coy, Zion, thank you. Just a perfect night here at Crutcher Scott Field in Abilene. You can see the Horned Frogs in their black tops. The Wildcats about to take the field here in the top of the first, wearing the purple tops here tonight. Wildcats again 21-15. They're 10-5 in the WAC halfway through. TCU at 22-12. 7-11 in Big 12 conference play, but a good weekend. And they'll put up a batting lineup against the right-hander, the grad students. Jaden West, it's Brett Garcia on the mound here for the Wildcats.
Yeah, as we take a look at Garcia, the transfer from Baylor this season, 0-3, but does have over 20 innings under his belt. ERA not bad at 4.35, striking out at a pretty decent rate, and the 11 walks. Doing a good job of filling up the strike zone, and last time out against TCU, he threw 2 innings and struck out 5 batters of that Horned Frog offense that has been struggling recently. So look for Garcia to come out here and set the tone early with a really good outing on the mound.
Garcia typically a middle reliever for Rick McCarty and the Wildcats. It's his 13th appearance of the year, just his second start. 0-3 the record, 4.35 is that ERA, but a strikeout to walk ratio of more than 3-1. 36 strikeouts to just 11 walks, an opponent batting average of 159. Jaden, we've seen in these midweek games that typically Rick McCarty will watch a pitch count. We anticipate we'll see a lot of arms tonight in pitch count with a big conference series with California Baptist coming up this weekend. Here's the defense behind him. Miller, Ladisaw, Rance, Radke, Holden, Rook to start in right field tonight. Gino D'Alessio, Shaden Payne, Benjamin Greer, and Garrett Williams in the infield. Maddox Meese, the battery mate here for Brett Garcia.
Yeah, Rance, Radke, and Holden Rook out in the outfield, something that we don't always see. They're not everyday starters, but really good options for Rick McCarty in the outfield. And, of course, Miller Ladisaw, one of the best hitters on this team, hold it down in the corner.
The Horned Frog batting lineup, you can see for Coach Kirk Sarloos, as Logan Maxwell not in the lineup tonight. Sam Myers will lead off. Carson Bowen, Curtis Byrne, 1, 2, 3. Anthony Silva, Luke Boyers, Fisher Ingersoll in the middle. Peyton Chatinier, Ryder Robinson, and Jack Arthur. We'll wrap it up 7, 8, and 9. Absolute beautiful night here in Abilene. It is 87 degrees on the thermometer, mostly sunny skies, few clouds in the sky. Winds 10 to 15 miles an hour tonight, blowing towards the left field pole. It's a hitter's ballpark as we get underway. First pitch swinging, Sam Myers will lift one on the left side into shallow left field, but the shortstop, Shaden Payne, is out well in the outfield grass, and he'll make the catch. 1 pitch, 1 out.
Yeah, great play by Payne there. Reaching out, wind blowing that direction. Expected Ladisaw to call him off, but Zant Payne not giving up on the play. Taking another look at it here, and he goes out and doesn't give up on it. Able to lay out for the diving grab, and good out one.
Ladisaw was playing fairly deep there in left field. Again, the wind is blowing out to the left field foul pole. So Payne, a long run from the shortstop position, able to make the catch. First pitch to Carson Bowen, the first baseman. As Bowen makes his 33rd start of the year, 235 is that average, 27 hits in 115 at-bats. 4 home runs, 25 RBIs. And the 1-0 is in for a strike. Second time this year that the Horned Frogs and Wildcats have been on the diamond. The first time at Lupton Stadium in Fort Worth, a 4-0 TCU win. The Horned Frogs a 4-0 win back in Fort Worth. The last of a 13-game winning streak to start the year for TCU. They started the year 13-0. It's been a struggle over the last month and a half. As you can see, 22-12. The team picked to win the Big 12 is just 7-11, currently in 11th place in the 13-team Big 12 conference. Still plenty of baseball ahead that starts tonight. 3-1 count here to Bowen, the first baseman. And this one hit right back up the middle. Radke will play it on a bounce. It's a 1-out single. Carson Bowen, the first base runner for the Horned Frogs tonight. And hit it right back where it's pitched, right back up the middle.
Yeah, really great job by Bowen there, taking another look at it. Fastball left out over the middle of the plate. Doing a really good job of keeping the hands inside and driving it up the middle for the first base runner of this ball game. Garcia, you're going to see a fastball, cutter, and curveball out of him today. Relies on that fastball for a majority of his pitches, but works the cutter and curveball off of it really nicely, especially when he is ahead in the count, which he's done a really good job of this year so far, working ahead in counts and being able to go to that off speed.
Starts Curtis Byrne with off speed, stays low for a ball. As Byrne, the catcher tonight, makes his 33rd start. 252 the average. It's a team batting average for the Horned Frogs of 268, and has really been the struggle as of late. This one gets away from Maddox Meese, and Bowen will move up first to second. Yeah, 268 is the overall batting average. But in this stretch, since the 13-0 start, TCU just hitting 184 as a team, averaging less than 4 runs a game. They've scored 5 runs or fewer in 15 of the 21 games since that 13-0 start. 2-0 to Byrne. And rip foul. Good crowd on hand here for this midweek. Always good when the Big 12 pays a visit to Abilene. And the fans appreciate it and come out accordingly. As Texas Tech was here last week for a midweek. This week, it's the Horned Frogs. Here's the 2-1. Good stop by Misi this time, and it's outside. The Wildcats at 21-15, again 10-5 in the WAC, halfway through their conference schedule. 5 series down, 5 to go. They've won all 5 series, 2 games to 1. Have not swept the conference series yet, but 2 out of 3, 5 times will get you to 10-5. And the 3-1. Fastball lifted in the infield. It's Payne D'Alessio on the left side. D'Alessio, the third baseman, will call off Payne. He'll make the catch. A big second out at the top of the first inning.
Yeah, really great job by Garcia here. He kind of fell behind in the count, but able to use his fastball to work back in it and get a high fly ball for out number 2. Good job by D'Alessio there to track it and stay underneath it and haul it in for the second out of this first inning. Brings up Anthony Silva now.
Bowen still at second. Anthony Silva, preseason All-Big 12 selection. 275 the average, 33 hits on the year. 9 doubles, a home run, 21 RBIs. Garcia starts him off with a curveball for a strike. I believe he started off all 4 batters with off speed.
Yeah, one thing that sticks out about this TCU team, lots of preseason All-Americans, All-Big 12s, a lot of really great talent as it comes on paper here for the Horned Frogs, and doing a really good job of trying to capitalize on that as that one's grounded.
There's a chopper to D'Alessio over at third. He'll throw across the diamond, and the out is made. TCU goes quietly in the first. Wildcat bats will come to bat first time here at ACU. And here's a look at the Horned Frogs starting pitcher tonight, Braden Sloan, the sophomore left-hander. He'll get the start here for Coach Kirk Sarlos and the Horned Frogs.
Yeah, Sloan with 18.1 innings this season. Last season had 38 innings, most of those coming off of midweek starts like this one today. ERA pretty similar to last year. Strikeout numbers and walk numbers the same as well. Pretty consistent pitcher. Braden Sloan is the southpaw from Roseville, California, looking to come out here and give TCU a really solid start on a Tuesday.
His 4th start of the year, his 10th appearance with that 3-2 overall record. 6.38 is the ERA. Sloan did not pitch the first time these two teams played back in early March. So he will take the mound against the Wildcats in a batting lineup that Rick McCarty feels pretty strong about. A team batting average of 273 for the Wildcats. Benjamin Greer will lead things off in this bottom of the first inning. Greer, the senior, the second baseman tonight. He's been the utility man all year long. He's played some third base, some right field. Rick McCarty finds a way to get him in the lineup. First pitch fouled right off the shin. Out into fair territory, but a foul ball at the plate. The home plate umpire, Trent Petrie, will allow Benjamin Greer to try to walk that one off.
Yeah, Greer able to play anywhere in the infield and also some left field as well if needed. Really great defensively with the leather and doing a really good job of hitting this year as well, which is why McCarty able to go to him in that leadoff spot today.
Here's a look at the full lineup for the Wildcats. Greer, Ladisal, D'Alessio, Macy, Van Atten, Payne in the middle, Radke, Williams, and Rook, the right fielder, will wrap up the lineup tonight. Again, a team batting average of 273. That's 5th in the WAC in batting average. Good off-speed pitch in 4 strike, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Yeah, real nice curveball there from Sloan. Kind of a 12-6 action to it. Lots of downward movement, not so much horizontal.
1-2 fastball skips in. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Both teams coming off series wins this past weekend. Of course, the Horned Frogs, a much-needed 2 out of 3 series victory versus Texas Tech, a weekend where TCU only scored 9 runs on the weekend, but able to win 2 out of 3. ACU took care of UC Davis, a non-conference weekend this past weekend. 2 10-run rule games for the Wildcats. They're stroking it well offensively. This is the 5th game of a 9-game homestand for ACU. They'll host California Baptist this weekend. Payoff pitch stays downstairs. It's a leadoff walk. The Wildcats have Benjamin Greer, good speed on over at first base.
Yeah, one thing that really impressed me with that TCU series win against Texas Tech last weekend was they kept a really explosive offense and limited the amount of runs they were able to score. A team that, out of Texas Tech, that averages almost 10 runs a game was held to only 12 runs on the entire weekend. That's 3 games and only 12 runs scored. So ACU going to have to do a really good job of having some competitive at-bats and finding a way to get some runners around the bases.
That'll bring up the WAC Player of the Week, Miller Ladisall, the grad student from Rockwall, his 5th year here in a Wildcat uniform. And the reigning WAC Player of the Week after what he did last week in 4 games, the midweek versus Texas Tech and 3-game series versus UC Davis. .615 batting average last week, 4 doubles, a home run, 5 RBIs, and 6 runs scored for ACU. Ahead in the count 1-0. Take a fastball low. It's 2 balls and no strikes.
Ladisall recorded his 200th career hit back in February. All 200 of those coming here at ACU. Currently 6th most in program history with hits. Really great hitter and staple of this ACU program.
You see a look at TCU's defense tonight. Arthur Myers Boyers in the outfield. And Chatinier, Silva, Robinson, Bowen in the infield. Curtis Byrne behind the dish. No Logan Maxwell tonight. No Chase Brunson tonight. So far in the lineup. The 3-0 take sign all the way. It's back-to-back walks for Braden Sloan to start the bottom of the first. First and second, nobody out here for the Wildcats.
And if you're ACU, you couldn't ask for anything of a better start here in this first inning, as their best hitter, Gino D'Alessio, is coming up, batting that 3-hole today, hitting .376 on the year, leading the team with 8 home runs and 39 RBI. Has been very good in that 3-hole and has a chance to come up here and do some damage in the first inning.
You saw an infield visit there by the entire TCU infield, and Anthony Silva, pretty stiff punch in the chest there of Braden Sloan, said, come on, let's throw some strikes, let's get going. 2 on, nobody out. D'Alessio starts with the ball. It's 1-0. D'Alessio, the only Wildcat that's started now all 37 games. He'll hit this one into left field. It will fall, a base hit. Greer got a late jump. He'll stop at third as Arthur gets it back in a hurry. But the first hit of the night for the Wildcats has loaded the bases. Greer to third, Ladisall at second. D'Alessio extends his hitting streak to 7, his on-base streak to 32. The bases are loaded with nobody out.
Great job by D'Alessio there. Had the count 1-0 and just rips that cutting fastball into left field. Greer not able to score, but with nobody out, now the base is loaded up for the 4-hole, Maddox Meese.
Meese, the sophomore catcher, unloaded a grand slam on Friday, the series opener versus UC Davis. He'll take one, a fastball high for a ball. Sloan's having a hard time locating here in the bottom of the first. See a look at the wind. It's blowing out to left field. It's a hitter's ballpark tonight. Another fastball this time in for a strike.
You know, I'd like to think this is a favorable matchup for Meese here at the plate, facing a left-handed hitter. He's been really good hitting against southpaws this season and has an opportunity here to pick up an RBI or 2.
Swings at an off-speed pitch, gets away from Byrne, but not far enough for Greer to think about trying to score. And now ahead in the count, Braden Sloan. It's 1 ball, 2 strikes. Works out of the stretch with the bases loaded. Kicking the 1-2. Hit fairly deep, left center field, coming over Myers, makes a dive, he comes up empty, and it scoots away from the left fielder, Arthur. 1 run is in, here comes a second, D'Alessio to follow. It's a 3-run double for Maddox Meese. The Wildcats strike first, 3-0 here in the bottom of the first.
What a great piece of hitting by Meese. Take another look at it. This pitch, the off speed, down in the zone. BC goes down and gets it in a really tough, great effort by Sam Myers, the center fielder, but couldn't quite haul it in. That goes as a 3 RBI double for Maddox Misi, adding on what he had a great weekend this past weekend against UC Davis, and just keeps it going here on Tuesday against TCU.
And I'll tell you, Jaden, I thought off the bat that hit, that swing had a little more pop off of it. I don't know if Myers thought the same, but it kind of died out there in shallow left center field. Myers, a tough angle. I think he was going a little deeper there in the outfield and had to change course and just could not quite get there. However you look at it, it's a 3-run double, and the Wildcats strike early. More offense at the plate. DJ Van Atten already ahead in the count, 2-0. Van Atten, the average at 274. 4 home runs, 22 RBIs. Sloan misses well out of the zone here. It's 3 balls and no strikes.
And one thing, there was a question mark for Van Atten coming into the season that we knew he needed to be excelling at, was his patience at the plate, not chasing outside the strike zone, and we've seen him do a really good job of that here in this at-bat, as he thought that was ball 4, but it's going to have to come back and keep his at-bat going, as it's 3-1 now.
For Misi, RBIs number 21, 22, and 23 on the 3-run double. There's a 3-1 Van Atten. Big cut, fouls it straight back.
The DH here, really powerful swing. Always a threat for the long ball. He can hit it hard and far.
And a walk-off home run early in the year versus Penn, the opening series of the weekend. 3-2, grounder to third. Chotney will look the runner back, throw across the diamond. It's missed by Bowen over at first. Everybody's safe. Misi will stop at third. Van Atten will advance to second. And an error on the play. We'll have to see if that's E5 or E3. I thought the throw was good. Bowen just missed it.
Yeah, we'll take another look at it here. See this replay. The throw looks like it's on target. Maybe slightly out of the reach of the first baseman, Bowen, but I thought the play was makeable. And we're going to have another meeting here in the infield. They're going to try to get their team back on track, as there are still no outs in this first inning.
This is the second meeting by the infield in the inning without a coach. I've not seen a coach visit yet. This is all, let's get mentally right in the head here. Horned Frogs, 5 Wildcats to the plate. All 5 have reached, and now a visit comes here from the third base dugout. A leadoff walk by Benjamin Greer. Miller Ladisaw walked. Gino D'Alessio a single to load the bases. Maddox Misi a 3-run double. And an error by the TCU infield, and a pitching change here in Abilene. ACU already 3 in the first. We'll see a new pitcher after this timeout. 5 Wildcat batters have all reached safely. Coach Sarlos going to the bullpen. Zach Morris will take over. Nobody out here, Jaden, in the bottom of the first.
Is Zach Morris making his 10th appearance on the year. You see there just over an 8 ERA, 15 strikeouts and 11 walks on the season. One thing about Morris, a little bit susceptible to the long balls. He's given up 5 home runs in those 15 2/3 innings. He's going to come in here. Another lefty for the Frogs. Braden Sloan started the game, struggled finding the strike zone. And then the ACU 4-hole with Maddox Misi made him pay with the 3 RBI double. And then the error here in the infield. Still no outs in the first inning, and ACU just trying to keep capitalizing on some mistakes from the Horned Frogs.
And Jaden, the error was given to the first baseman, Carson Bowen. Chotney played it cleanly, had plenty of time. Van Atten was not going full speed down the line. And Chotney, a nice lazy throw across the diamond. Bowen just didn't see it all the way into the glove. It's an E3 on the play. So Van Atten at second, Misi advanced to third. Second and third, nobody out. 3 runs already in. Here for ACU, an absolute perfect start for the home team.
Yeah, now we see Zant Payne coming up for the Wildcats, the transfer from Dodge City Community College. One of the really nice surprises here for this Wildcat team. Payne batting .266 on the year. Middle infielder, playing shortstop today. Also plays some second base.
Already made some nice plays in the field in the first. He'll lay down a bunt, pops it up, foul territory. And it's 0-1. So you see Misi at third, the big 3-run double here in the bottom of the inning. One thing ACU really struggled with over the weekend was executing sacrifice bunts. Had 2 different pop-ups on sacrifice attempts that led to outs without advancing the runner.
And that's frustrating whenever small ball is a part of your offense, and we know that it is here at ACU. Zant Payne does have 4 bunt singles on the year as he's trying to get this one home.
And he will down the first base side, and nobody covers the first base bag. Everybody's safe. It's an infield single and an RBI for Zant Payne. It's 4-0 here in the first.
He had a really great push bunt from Payne. Had to make the first baseman field it, and second baseman or pitcher not able to get over to the bag and cover it. Payne with a little bit of speed, able to run it out for the infield single. And TCU still struggling here defensively. Several miscues so far in this game, and you can see there in the background some ACU students loving what they're seeing here in this 4-0 ballgame.
So Misi scores, Van Atten the third, runners on the corner, still nobody out for Rance Radke to start in center field tonight. Radke, the transfer, Seward County Community College. He'll lay a bunt down first base side. It's fielded, it's thrown over to first and scooped. Boy, that was a close play, but it works as a squeeze as Van Atten comes in to score. It's 5-0 Wildcats.
Another push bunt to the right side. Make the lefty make the play over there. He bounced that one in, but Bowen able to field that one cleanly and get the first out of the inning.
So Radke does a job. Van Atten scores. Payne now at second base for Garrett Williams. Garrett playing first base tonight. He's played a lot of second base this year. He's moved over to first here in the last 4 or 5 games. First pitch swinging, ground ball up the middle, a dive. It's through into center field. Payne rounds third. He will score. It's an RBI single for Garrett Williams. It's 6-0 Wildcats.
Williams really great at hitting the fastball, especially early in the count. He likes to jump on it. It's a really good job. We saw it last year. We've seen it this year as well. Gap to gap. He sits up the middle of the field, and it's really great. Hard ground ball through the infield for the RBI to extend the lead to 6.
And ACU has batted around here in the bottom of the first. Still just 1 out. Williams at first. Here's Holden Rook, the sophomore right fielder. We'll get a look here at Morris. Throw over to first. All 5 batters that Braden Sloan faced all came around to score. So we can close the line now on Sloan. Did not retire an out. 5 runs, 4 of the 5 were earned. 2 walks, 2 hits, 22 pitches. And a night to forget for Braden Sloan. This one feels a little different than Lumpton Stadium early March, huh? And a TCU 4-0 win. ACU was 6 here in the bottom of the first.
Yeah, absolutely. Back in March in Fort Worth, ACU only with 4 hits, and they've already have that here in the first inning. Holden Rook, lots of speed out of him.
Rook will drive one left center field gap, and it's down to the wall. Williams will round second. He'll stop at third. Rook has a double with 1 out, 2 more in scoring position. 5 hits the first time through the lineup. And back to the top of the lineup, Benjamin Greer.
What a great swing by Rook on a pitch over the middle of the plate, down in the zone, and he one-hops the wall. Williams coming off a little bit of an injury, so no problem holding him at third. Now there's 2 runners in scoring position once again, back up for the top of the order. Benjamin Greer, who walked back in his first at-bat earlier this inning.
Greer got it all started. He walks, Ladisaw walks, DeLessio singled. The bases were loaded for the Maddox Misi 3-run double. And the hit parade has been nice. Greer will lift his first pitch into center field. Myers is underneath it, will make the catch. Tagging coming in from third and scoring is Williams. It's a sacrifice fly for Benjamin Greer. The Wildcats are 2nd in the country in sacrifice flies. There's their 29th of the year. It's 7-0 here in the first.
Yeah, sac fly is something they do really well. Just all that is being able to get a job done and get an RBI when needed, and that wins you ball games down the stretch. It's not always about the big long ball or the double to the wall. Zach Fly is getting runners in from third base with less than 2 outs is huge in this game.
Rook was unable to advance. He's still at second as Myers' throw came into the third base bag. So Rook held at second. 2 outs in the inning for Ladisol. And Miller walked his first time up. Big cut. Fouls it off left side. Ladisol has extended his on-base streak now to 9 with the walk. Current hitting streak of 6 games, dating back to the SFA series. Morris will come set. And the 0-1. Fouled at the plate this time. It's 0-2. For the Wildcats, this is their 16th inning of 4 runs or more on the year. The most runs they have scored in an inning is 8. They did that versus Utah Valley. That's the 3rd time this year they've scored 7 or more. 8 versus Utah Valley, 7 versus Northern Illinois. That's back in mid-February. Morris the 0-2. And they'll do it again.
The Wildcats do a really good job of putting up big numbers on offense in innings. You saw it all the way early in the season with Northern Illinois and Penn, and then even this past weekend against UC Davis. They can make some big explosive movement in a single inning.
0-2. Fastball just misses. 1 ball, 2 strikes. They had 3 innings this past weekend of 4 runs or more. 2 of those on Friday. Had a 4-run inning and a 6-run inning. And 2 strikes. Boy, the pitch count here in this inning. Something crazy. Morris to Ladisol. The kick, the 2-2. Miller will lift it fairly deep. Myers giving chase. Just shy of the warning track. He'll make the catch. And the side is retired, but a 7-run bottom of the first for the Wildcats, a 7-0 lead. 7-0 Wildcats. We move to the top of the second. Andy Penny alongside Jaden West. Jaden, how do you think old Brett Garcia's feeling stepping on the mound with a 7-run lead?
Yeah, as a starting pitcher, especially on a midweek, it's nice to come out and after a really good shutdown first inning, able to come out with a 7-run lead and feeling really confident, able to just throw to strikes, fill up that strike zone, and try to get your offense back up to the plate and see if you can extend the lead even more.
7 runs on 5 hits in the inning. TCU helped with an error in the infield. Brett Garcia starts with Luke Boyers, the right fielder. Boyers, Ingersoll, and Chatinier scheduled to bat here in the top of the second. 2-1, lifted out of play. Boyers had the big hit on Sunday, the 3-run home run in the bottom of the first versus Texas Tech. A game the Horned Frogs won 4-3 on Sunday, but Boyers the 3-run shot in the first. Horned Frogs held on to win 4-3. 2-2 curveball foul, and they'll do it again. Took 35 pitches for the Horned Frogs to get out of that first inning. Sloan threw the first 22, 13 for Morris before retiring Miller Ladisol, the 3rd out of the inning. 2-2 off speed, will do it again.
Yeah, and given the situation that Morris inherited coming in the ballgame in the middle of the first inning, I thought he did a really good job of getting in the strike zone and finding a way to record some outs and limit the damage that he had to deal with. Now it's up to the TCU offense that's been struggling as of lately to try to find a way to put the ball in play and get some barrels and see if they can slowly chip away at this deficit. It's still early, a lot of baseball to be played here today.
Boyers has battled back to a full count. A 280 average, 3 home runs, 14 RBIs, a slugging percentage of .409. Now a long ball here in Abilene last year when these two teams met up. Payoff pitch. Boyers doing a nice job of fending off pitches here and extending this at bat.
Pretty textbook from Garcia. Lots of curveballs, low and away, and then goes to the high fastball. Boyer is able to fell off that high fastball a couple times in this at bat so far. Count remains full.
Misi will give chase on this pop-up, run out of real estate left side. And we'll do 3-2 again. Again, Brett Garcia is typically a middle reliever for Rick McCarty on the weekends. Gets the start tonight. His longest outing is just 3 1/3. He's only gone 2+ innings a handful of times this year. And that was the game plan when Garcia got the start tonight. Here's the 3-2, fastball that stays low, and it's a leadoff walk with Boyers. First free pass given up tonight.
The pitch count was to remain low. I could see Garcia maybe coming back out in the 3rd inning, but lots of pitches there to lead off the inning to Boyers and able to draw the walk. Garcia really needs to focus on the batter, maybe try to get a ground ball to the right side, roll it up for a double play.
There's Fisher Ingersoll, the designated hitter tonight. Bats in the 6th spot. Ingersoll makes just his 3rd start of the year, 200 the average, just 1 for 5 on the year at the plate. First offering, fouled at the plate. Now TCU, the batting average again on the year is at 268, but hot as a pistol to start the year. They hit a 340 batting average through their month of February, 9-0 in February at a 340 batting average. It dipped to 253 in March, almost 90 points lower. And here in April, 7 games in, just a 203 batting average for the Horned Frogs. It has certainly been the tale of 2 seasons there at Fort Worth. Currently in the 11th place spot in the Big 12. The RPI is still good, 32nd in RPI, which is certainly good enough for an at-large bid in NCAA regional, but 7-11 in the Big 12. And only 10 of the 13 teams make the Big 12 tournament, so work to do for the Horned Frogs. As this in for a strike, it's 1-2.
Yeah, and while a midweek matchup maybe doesn't have any effect on conference standings, TCU definitely not just flying by this one and not putting any focus on it at all. They're trying to use this as a game to get their offense back on track.
Runner on the move. Here's a throw down to second. The throw is not in time, just late. Misi thought he had him. Payne put the tag on, but Boyer's the stolen base. It's his 9th of the year, and he has yet to be thrown out this year. He's 9 for 9. Pitch was a ball. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes to Ingersoll.
Coach Sarlos has mixed up the lineup here towards the second half of this season, and he put Chase Brunson up in the leadoff spot for a lot of conference games, and they've been producing a little bit more at the top of the order. Of course, Brunson not in the lineup tonight.
Fastball here for Garcia. Ingersoll watches it fly by. It's strike 3. First strikeout of the night for Garcia.
Really great pitch. Ingersoll maybe looking for the off speed, maybe the curveball. It's Garcia, that's kind of been his go-to with 2 strikes to the batter, but able to fire the fastball at 92 miles an hour in there in the bottom of the zone for strike 3 looking. Great job by Garcia to retire the first out of this second inning.
Peyton Chottenay, the 3rd baseman. Take a pitch up high. Chottenay is 30th start of the year, 218 the average. 24 hits and 110 at-bats, 5 doubles, 3 triples, 3 home runs, and 12 RBIs.
Chottenay, grad student, spent the last 4 seasons at Ole Miss. He was a member of that 2022 national championship squad that the Rebels had. A really great team in the SEC.
We saw a 92-mile-an-hour fastball for a strikeout a moment ago. Here's the velocities last week of the fastballs from the top 5 guys in the Wildcat lineup that series versus UC Davis. Orlando De La Cruz up over 95. Rick Garcia on there as well. This one popped up, foul territory. Misi is underneath it, throws the mask, makes the catch. Second out of the inning. Pop up in foul territory, caught by Misi. There's 2 down.
Yeah, and that out comes on another high fastball by Garcia. just 89 miles an hour. We haven't seen him hit that 93 mark yet today, but doing a really good job of locating it up in the zone, and it's missing these Frogs bats and getting lots of pop-ups from it. Really good results so far early in this ball game for Garcia.
And job put on the shoulders of Ryder Robinson to try to get the Horned Frogs on the board. Second baseman, his first appearance at the plate. 227 the average. Chopper right side. Greer has it on 2 hops. And a nice easy toss across. And the side is retired. A leadoff walk does no damage. We played an inning and a half at Abilene. ACU a 7-0 lead. It's a near perfect April spring night here in Abilene, Texas. Speaking of near perfect, great start for the Wildcats. We move to the bottom of the second. 7-0 lead, Jaden, for the hometown boys as we go to the bottom 2.
Yeah, the Wildcats came out, capitalized off of a couple of walks to start off the inning, and then Gino D'Alessio with a single and Max Misi with a double. And also some really good small ball by the Wildcats with Payne and Radke laying down some bunts. Lots of RBIs and lots of runs on the board in that first inning. And now Gino going to have another shot here in the second.
11 batters to the plate in the 7-run bottom of the first. D'Alessio 1 for 1, a single in that first inning. Hitting streak extended now to 7 games. Zach Morris still on the mound, came in relief with nobody out there in the first. The Wildcats went to small ball after had 2 on and nobody out. Zant Payne, the RBI bunt single. And it's Radke, as you mentioned, the sacrifice bunt that scored a run.
And Alessio, we saw him back in March in Fort Worth against TCU. He went 2 for 4 in that game. Already 1 hit here today.
And here's a look at Rick McCarty, the skipper for the Wildcats, looking for the 4th consecutive 30-win season for ACU. 2021, they won the Southland Conference regular season title. So here's a hot shot, third base. Chatney has it cleanly. He'll throw over. Bowen makes the catch, 5-3 on the putout. Of course, the Wildcats won the Southland again in 2021, a 36-21 year. Their final year in the Southland. First year in the WAC, they make it to the WAC tournament championship game, lost to New Mexico State, but knocking on the door of an NCAA regional. Last year, the Wildcats finished at 35-24, so 3 consecutive years, 30-plus wins for the Wildcats. Maddox Misi, the big hit in the bottom of the first, the 3-run double. First pitch swinging will foul one off right side.
Yeah, Coach McCarty, a really great head coach here for this ACU program, and a really great guy in the locker room. I know he really is able to relate to the guys and really focus on academics and spiritual formation as well. And solid grab for ACU to get McCarty at the helm of this baseball program, who is trending up and on the right direction here in Abilene, Texas, able to play some really great games against the Power 5 opponents. And 1-4 against the Big 12 this season. And another game here against TCU today. So head coach Rick McCarty, Abilene thinks they found the guy for the job here at ACU.
Yeah, definitely a culture guy. Always good to visit with Rick. He's so open for us to be a part of the program. He's got the Wildcats currently in second place in the WAC at 10-5. They're just 1 game behind. I guess a 2-way tie. Grand Canyon and California Baptist are both 11-4. ACU at 10-5. The Lancers of CBU will be here this weekend. A big series in the WAC. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We're hoping the weather will stay away out of the big country this weekend. 1-2 to Misi. Fouled off. We'll do it again. TCU, the schedule gets no easier here the latter part of April. They're in Austin this weekend. A midweek versus Dallas Baptist. Boy, I tell you, the Patriots are playing well there in the Metroplex. And then Kansas State comes to Fort Worth. So nothing gets much easier for TCU moving ahead here in the month of April. With some work to do at 7-11 in the Big 12, 11th place. Top 10 make the Big 12 tournament in Globe Life Field. Horned Frogs currently in 11th. Misi's ready, a 1-2 count. Morris comes set. out of the stretch even with the bases empty. Kick the 1-2. Swung on and missed. Morris has his first strikeout tonight. And quickly 2 up, 2 down here in the second.
Yeah, Morris did a really good job at the end of the first inning, getting out of some trouble and able to get the 3 outs. You see there with a curveball to retire Misi. Really great job. Gets the swing and miss and finds himself with the first 2 outs of the inning real quickly here in the second.
DJ Van Atten reached on an error first time up. Routine ground ball to third that Carson Bowen at first did not squeeze the glove on the throw. E3 kept the inning alive. DJ's been a great addition to the Wildcat program this year. Transfer from Southern Nazarene University there in Oklahoma. First year in a purple and white Wildcat uniform. 1-0 rope down the left field line. It'll stay fair over a leaping shot nade. Van Atten chugging for 2. He'll get there. Standing up. It's a 2-out double. And DJ Van Atten has his first hit tonight. It's the 6th for the Wildcats. The inning continues.
Yeah, Van Atten, not only is he a really great hitter in the middle of this Wildcat order, but you saw there with the celebration after the double. Really great personality, DJ. Good clubhouse guy. The guys love him and rally around him. And just one of the really great presence, veteran presence, even though it is his first year here at ACU.
So he's in scoring position for Zant Payne. Payne tonight, the bunt single in the infield, had an RBI as well. Morris will come set, check Van Atten. Fastball misses outside. ACU, the 3 doubles already, 3 extra base hits. Well, this past weekend versus UC Davis, 8 doubles, 3 home runs. It was their highest batting average for a series all season long. They hit 374 over the weekend. 34 hits total. And 333 with runners in scoring position. That'll win you a lot of baseball games. But did not sweep. ACU has yet to sweep a series this year. They've won 8 of 9 series, but have not swept a series. Here's a high chopper foul.
Yeah, they've been so close. Talking to some of the players today before the game, they feel like they're right there. They're just a couple big hits away from getting that series sweep, whether it be in conference or against a non-conference opponent like this last weekend. They just couldn't quite capture the W on Sunday, but they're real close. But they keep winning the series, and that's what's important in college baseball. Always try to get 2 of 3. That sets you up for success down towards the end of the season.
The only series ACU has dropped this year is a non-conference series to Texas A&M Corpus Christi. Down in the late February, early March. As Payne will hit this one right back up the box, but Myers in center field tracks it. He'll make the catch, and the side is retired. A quiet bottom of the second, but the Wildcats in control. They've got a 7-0 lead after 2 here in Abilene.
Thanks, guys. Throughout the past 2 seasons, ACU has proven that they can come out strong against the big guys. The past 2 seasons, they've had 10 wins over Power 5 schools, those schools including Texas Tech, TCU, Baylor, Nebraska, Oklahoma, and even a series sweep over Michigan State. They're continuing that trend this evening with a strong start in the second inning. Guys, back to you.
Yeah, thanks, Daisy. The Rick McCarty era has had some pretty impressive wins. A good start tonight against the Big 12 opponent in TCU. And a new pitcher here, Jaden, for the Wildcats, as Rolando De La Cruz will take over here in the top of the 3rd.
Yeah, we've seen De La Cruz start some of these midweek games, but getting the nod as the first pitcher out of the bullpen. Saw Brett Garcia throw a really solid 2 innings, and now they go to the big, hard-throwing right-hander. De La Cruz likes to sit mid-90s with that fastball. Also throws a nasty changeup and slider off of it as well. De La Cruz struggled a little bit early this season, but ever since he's been coming out of the bullpen, he's been really good. 22 innings pitched on the year, a 5.24 ERA. De La Cruz throws it hard and with lots of movement as well.
The senior right-hander out of the Dominican Republic started his career at Trinidad State Junior College. This is his 2nd year for ACU. Jack Arthur to lead things off. Arthur, the left fielder. It's Arthur, Myers, and Bowen, 9, 1, and 2. Brett Garcia, 32 pitches through his 2 innings of work. No runs, 1 hit for the Horned Frogs in those 2 innings. 1 strikeout for Garcia. Here's a high chop, fair territory. DeLessio has it, quick fire. Throw over is not in time. Good speed by Arthur down the base pass. It's an infield single. That a high chop. DeLessio had to wait for it to come down, and Arthur able to beat it out.
Yeah, really nothing you can do if you're DeLessio. Looked like the sun kind of got in his eyes there as he was shielding it with his glove and hand, but able to field it cleanly and fired across the diamond, but Arthur just too quick and beats it out for the infield single to lead off the 3rd inning.
Horned Frogs have the leadoff man on for the 2nd time in the first 3 innings. 1 time through the lineup and 2 hits. Sam Myers 0 for 1, popped up on the very first pitch of the game to shortstop. This one skips away, but not far enough for the runner to advance. Again, we'll close the line on Garcia. 2 innings of work, no runs, 1 hit, 1 strikeout, 1 walk. Faced 8 batters, 32 pitches. So very similar to what he did in Fort Worth, 2 innings of scoreless baseball. He did it again tonight. Bunt shown, and it is called a strike. Home plate umpire Trent Petrie calls that a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Frogs back up to the top of the order. Sam Myers leading off today, currently with a 6-game hitting streak, batting .450 in that span. The freshman from Cypress, Texas.
There's 9 hits in that stretch. A 6-game hitting streak. Ahead in the count here, 2 balls and 1 strike. Arthur leads off first. 2-1. Ripped into right field, a base hit. Arthur will stop at 2nd. It's back-to-back singles to open up the 3rd. TCU for the first time tonight with 2 runners on the base path. Myers turned on that one and ripped it into right field.
Yeah, this is one thing that we've seen De La Cruz struggle with here, both last season and this season. When falling behind the count, tends to leave the fastball, even though it is 95 miles per hour and sinking a little bit. Tends to leave it over the middle, and able, especially for a left-handed hitter, to get the bat to it and drive it into that right field side, as Myers did there. Put runners on 1st and 2nd now for Bowen.
Bowen 1 for 1. He'll show bunt, pull it back. It's a fastball high. De La Cruz's last 3 outings have all been scoreless baseball. Went 3 innings versus Texas down in Austin 2 weeks ago in the midweek. Went 3 innings of scoreless baseball, no runs, no hits. Went 3 innings versus Stephen F. Austin, no runs, 1 hit. 2 innings this past weekend versus UC Davis. No runs, no hits. 1-1 count here to Bowen.
He was swinging there. Saw him show bunt in the first pitch. There was a ball. Guess he decided the element of surprise was out of the way, so had the green light to swing and fouled it off. Count even now, 1-1.
Bowen with 6 multi-hit games this year, 30 in his career. Curveball for a strike. That's 1-2. It's an ACU defense that's turned 19 double plays this year. 971 the fielding percentage. 35 errors is a little uncommon. It's a little higher than Rick McCarty would like. But 19 double plays. So stay out. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
De La Cruz trying to work with that slider. Doesn't move a ton. Throws it pretty hard at low 80s where that slider sits. Really good working it off that sinking fastball, but not able to locate it there as that one was way outside.
2-2. TCU's done a great job with 2 strikes keeping the bats alive tonight. We saw that with Boyers in the 2nd inning. Fell behind in the count, fouled off 3 or 4 pitches and worked himself a walk. Bowen doing the same. Trying to chip away at this ACU 7-0 lead. 7 in the bottom of the first for the Wildcats. 2-2. Loaded up, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Curtis Byrne waits on deck.
Bowen doing a good job of taking this deep into the count. De La Cruz not able to locate that slider. I'd like to think he'd go back to the fastball here, try to get a ground ball to the left side and roll it up for a double play.
Payoff pitch. This one hit the opposite way, right at Rook in right field, and hard enough for the runners not to have a chance to tag in advance. Boy, Bowen hit it well, a line shot, but right at Holden Rook. Big first out of the inning for the Wildcats.
Yeah, 105 off the bat. Really good job of taking an outside pitch and hitting it the other way. But the ACU had a guy there to retire the first out of the inning and keep the runners where they are.
Curtis Byrne 0 for 1. He popped up in the infield as well, caught by D'Alessio at third. Foul one down the left field line. Arthur a leadoff single, infield single, followed by Myers single into right. See Arthur there at second, Myers over at first, 1 out in the inning. TCU's going to need some offense tonight. De La Cruz set. And the 0-1. This one popped up. Will get out of play behind home plate. No balls and 2 strikes. You can see the sun still playing an effect here at ACU. It sets behind the first base bleachers. The left side of the infield has to fight the setting sun on these evening games. So shortstop, third base, and left field will fight the sun here over the course of the next 45 minutes to an hour.
Yeah, and a little surprising to see the shortstop, Zant Payne, with sunglasses on top of his hat. Yeah.
That's outside. Yeah, Benjamin Greer. You can see Benjamin Greer as well. And a balk called here. Balk on De La Cruz. The runners will advance. Allow both runners to advance. Arthur now at third, Myers at second. 0-2, swung on and missed. Byrne goes down on strikes. De La Cruz fights back, gets his first strikeout tonight.
Yeah, there's the swing and the miss from the slider that De La Cruz has been hunting all inning. It's that one way outside, but looks so good. Thrown real hard at 84 miles an hour. Looks like a strike for such a long time on that outside part of the plate, and then just dives out of the zone as the hitter starts to swing. Really great strikeout there. 4 out, 2.
Anthony Silva 0 for 1, a ground out back in the first. This feels like a big at bat. I know here we are, top of the third with 2 outs, but this one just feels like a momentum type of at bat for either team here. TCU can scratch across some runs, or if ACU can get out of the top of the third with no damage done. The 1-0. Good stop by Macy, 2 balls and no strikes. Typically don't say that at the top of the third, but that's kind of how it feels at this point.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of baseball to be played, but with a 7-0 lead for ACU, TCU trying to get on the board as soon as they possibly can just to see if they can get some momentum rolling with their offense. De La Cruz needs to be really careful with this pitch here.
That stays up, 3 balls and no strikes. And now with first base open, do you put Silva on? 3-0 count. Luke Boyers waits on deck. He walked his first time up. And does Silva get the green light here at 3-0? Well, take sign all the way. It's in for a strike.
De La Cruz has been locating that fastball really well. Sitting at 94, 95 miles an hour, sinking down and in on a right-handed batter. He goes right back to it here. Silva with a chance and a hitter's count to make something happen on 3-1.
3-1, hit up the middle, a dive by Payne, he can't get it. It's into center field, a base hit. Arthur scores. Myers right behind him. It's a big 2-out single. Here in the top of the third, Anthony Silva, the Horned Frogs on the board. It's 7-2 Wildcats.
Yeah, and a really good piece of hitting by Silva. The hitch was on the outside corner of the plate. Able to take it right back up the middle of the field and get a huge 2-out, 2 RBI single to cut into that deficit that they face here in the third inning.
Back-to-back singles to lead off the inning are cashed in as Silva gets the 2-run single. RBIs 22 and 23. And the Horned Frogs on the board. And Luke Boyer's at the plate. Again, walked, stole a base. That in the second inning. He was stranded at second. Here's a look at Boyers out of Bernie, Texas, down in the hill country. First offering outside for a ball. Of course, this TCU team was in the College World Series last year under Coach Kirk Sarlos. Now in his third season, he won his 100th game just a few weeks back. But 44 wins a year ago, a trip to Omaha. It's a swing and a miss, and it's 1-1. One of two teams that ACU played last year that were there in Omaha at the College World Series. Had a midweek game last year versus Oral Roberts as well. So ORU made a trip here to Abilene, as did TCU. Of course, the Horned Frogs eliminated ORU up in Omaha last year. Last year, it was Oral Roberts who lost. ACU actually beat Oral Roberts in that midweek game. Oral Roberts left Abilene, and that's when they started their streak of 42 out of 46. They won 42 of 46 to get to Omaha. TCU put an end to them. It's a 2-1. Catches the inside portion for a strike. It's 2-2.
And last year's Oral Roberts team, or even last year's TCU team, just an example of how important this back end of the season is, especially in conference play. A chance to get some momentum and get hot at the right time and maybe make a push in the playoffs. TCU this time last year kind of in a lull of their season. So they're looking to do something here similar, get some momentum and find a way back up towards the top.
And Boyers will drive one into center field. Rounding second on his way to third is Silva. He'll get there. The fourth hit of the inning for the Horned Frogs. 2-out single for Luke Boyers. Runners on the corners with 2 outs. Greer at second had played to his left. He was playing for more of a pull, so he was not at his normal second base position. It was a long run to try to get there, and he couldn't. Boyers takes advantage as he hits one back up the middle.
Yeah, not a bad pitch there by De La Cruz. Moving away from the hitter on the outside part of the zone. But good piece of hitting to throw the bat out there and get something through the infield, as we're going to have a mound visit here by head coach Rick McCarty.
There is some activity in the ACU bullpen. Again, we anticipated that a night like tonight might be a pitch by committee. That's how Rick McCarty likes to look at these midweek games.
Yeah, especially with a couple pitchers being injured. Both Blake Anderson and Nolan Foster out for the year with torn UCLs. Tough losses for the Wildcats pitching staff, as both of those guys were looking to have a really good year, but they'll be back in 2025 looking to make an impact. But missing them this season hurts the Wildcats pitching staff for sure.
See Caden Grenade starting to get loose out in the Wildcat bullpen. It's a lengthy conversation. Umpire Trent Petrie is already out to the pitcher's mound. He has not broken up the conversation quite yet. Rick McCarty will not make the change. It's a lengthy conversation here with his right-hander, Rolando De La Cruz.
I think the biggest thing for De La Cruz here is just to get ahead in the count with the fastball and be able to work that changeup off of it that we haven't seen very much in this third inning. It's whenever he falls behind in the count and then leaves the fastball over the middle of the plate that he struggles and is susceptible to the base hits and the RBIs.
Fisher Ingersoll 0 for 1. He struck out his first time up. Taking off speed pitch, swings at it, misses for a strike. And Ingersoll got the nod tonight, just his third start of the year. Just 6 at-bats on the year. This probably the largest of now 7 in this 2024 season. Runners on the corners and 2 outs. Fastball high, chop right side. Williams will play it, make a tag. Foul ball, though. It's called foul right on the line. And the right calls. That was just to the right of the line. It's 0-2.
Yeah, and home plate umpire Trent Petrie there, looking right down the line and able to make the call. Good job by Garrett Williams to come up and get the high hop, but that was going to be a tough play either way, as Ingersoll was moving very quickly down the line. It's going to be a tough tag, or even pitch back towards the pitcher, covering the bag over at first base.
Dela Cruz ahead in the count to Ingersoll. No balls and 2 strikes with 2 outs. Here in the top of the third. The kick, the 0-2. This one hit off the end of the bat, left side. D'Alessio has it cleanly. Throw across in time, and the side is retired. TCU gets on the board, 2 runs in the inning on 4 hits. It's still an ACU 7-2 lead after 2.5. Hey, let's go down field level. Coy and Zion joining us from the desk. Coy, it's all yours.
And welcome back down to the first base side. Crossland, Zion Webb holding it down here. 7-2 here in Abilene, Texas. The Wildcats on top of the Horned Frogs. Talk about history. The Horned Frogs, of course, spent quite some time in the WAC back in 1997 to 2001. Little history there, of course. Anytime these two teams play, you got to think about the history of this great conference, the Western Athletic Conference. But hey, here we are, 7-2 now, Zion. This has been an interesting game. ACU came out hot. They've needed to do that all year.
Yes, sir. And ACU just attacked early, especially when we were looking. We were kind of nervous. We were saying, why is Greer stopping at third? But no. It was because big time 99 was coming up. Maddox Misi did his things with 3 RBIs with that double. It was great to watch.
Yeah, and Maddox looked really good. He's had some lower numbers this year, but someone who's coming into his own here later in the year, someone who historically has had some pretty clutch hits for the Wildcats. Looking at the Horned Frogs, though, Zion, they finally got some runs on the board, 2 right there. How are you feeling about them?
Yeah, they just have to have a better approach. It's hard when you're in the box trying to keep things simple. Obviously, it's easier said than done because we're sitting here. But for them, just keeping it simple and trying to do the small things.
And, you know, the small things can be a lot. ACU has, of course, done the small things all year. That's what they're known for. And I look at them and I see a really good program right now who's doing a lot of good stuff on the field. Of course, the Horned Frogs, though, need to be looked out for.
Yes, sir. And we're going to see this great matchup head on here on ESPN.
Yeah, and you talk about it. These two teams have really had a bit of a back and forth, and they're joining the field right now. We're going to send it back up to Jaden and Andy. Guys.
Coy, Zion, great job. We move to the bottom of the third. The Wildcats have the 7-2 lead. Zach Morris back on the mound here in the third. He's done a nice job of stopping the bleeding. It was a quiet bottom of the second for the Wildcats after the 7-run first. 7, 8, 9 through the lineup second time. Radke, Williams, and Rook. Just tuning in, the Wildcats against 7 runs, all in the first inning. Braden Sloan, the starter for the Horned Frogs, faced 5 batters. All 5 reached and scored. Morris came in after 5 batters. Wildcats a few bunt singles in the inning once Morris came in to get runs 6 and 7. Morris just a 2-out double to DJ Van Atten in the second. Now Radke leads off the third. 22 strikes for Morris, 31 total pitches. Radke 0 for 1 tonight, the sacrifice bunt single. He'll lift this one into center field. Myers is underneath it, and he'll make the catch.
Yeah, that's going to bring up Garrett Williams for the Wildcats. Williams had that single back in the first inning and came all the way around to score the 7th run for ACU. Start that game. Now he's looking to find a way on base, as he does so well, and get this offense up and going again for the Wildcats.
Pitch, fastball misses outside. 7 runs, 6 hits, no errors for the Wildcats. 2 runs, 5 hits, 1 error for the Horned Frogs. The 2 runs and 4 of those hits came in this top of the 3rd inning. Morris works out of the stretch even with the bases empty. 2 balls and no strikes. It's a full slate of games in the WAC and the Big 12 tonight in the midweeks. As a matter of fact, there are 4 matchups that have the Big 12 and the WAC on the diamond tonight. One of those is here as Williams will lift this one into right field fairly deep. Boyer's giving chase. He's at the track. He's at the wall. He makes the catch at the wall. Crashing into the wall in right field. Luke Boyers comes up with the fly. Big second out at the bottom of the 3rd.
And off the bat, this one, you could tell it was hit hard, 97 off the bat, but it just kept traveling out deep into right field. There in the corner of the wall, probably the deepest part out there in right field, but a great job by Boyers to track it in and make the play and concentrate on tracking it all the way into the glove right before slamming into that outfield wall. Great play for the second out of this 3rd inning.
It's 380 in that power alley. Boyers caught that at about 379. First pitch swinging Holden Rook. Chopper to Chotney. And it's a 5-3 across the diamond and a 1-2-3 bottom of the 3rd. Luke Boyers, big time catch in right field. Wildcats, a 7-2 lead. And good look here at the campus of Abilene Christian University. We move to the middle innings here, the top of the 4th. ACU has the 7-2 lead. Jaden, our 3rd Wildcat pitcher of the night, the junior left-hander Chandler Benson will take over on the mound.
Yeah, Benson transferring in from Nebraska, has a really great repertoire. Throws a fastball, slider, curveball, and changeup. Also works in the sinker. You see there just under a 7 ERA this season with 2 wins in his 20 2/3 innings pitched. He's been a really good arm, especially from the left side out of the bullpen for Coach Rick McCarty. He's going to come in here and try to get his offense back up to the plate to see if they can extend their lead. They lead 7-2 right now here in the 4th.
The 11th appearance of the year for Benson. He'll see the bottom of the lineup. Chotney to lead it off. Chotney popped up in foul territory. Maddox Meese made the catch. He's 0 for 1 tonight. Chotney starting the night with a .218 average, his 30th start of the year. This game number 35 for the Horned Frogs. We talked about the WAC and the Big 12 matching up in midweek games. Of course, this one here, ACU and TCU. Baylor is in the Metroplex tonight, taking on UT Arlington. Also Big 12 WAC matchups. Here's a ground ball right to Payne at shortstop. And 6-3 on the putout. Utah Tech is at BYU tonight up in Provo. And UTRGV, the Vaqueros, are at the Longhorns of Texas tonight. 4 matchups in the WAC and the Big 12. I did not know, Jaden, until yesterday, Utah Valley and BYU. You know the distance between Utah Valley and BYU?
I don't.
4.5 miles. I did not know that until yesterday. And of course, the best backdrop in NCAA baseball is
BYU.
I always thought it was a competition between BYU and Utah Valley until yesterday when I realized it's the exact same backdrop. They're just 4.5 miles apart.
Really great look there in Provo with the trees, especially in fall ball. Whenever you go out there to play some baseball in September and October, some really great scenes there at the Diamond.
Yep, snow-capped mountains still here in April. Beautiful sight out there. ACU will have a game at BYU later this year. They'll play a 3-game set versus Utah Tech and then stay in Utah for a Monday game versus BYU. Ryder Robinson will foul this one off. He's 0 for 1 tonight, a ground out to second. Big weekend this weekend for both of these teams. ACU playing host to California Baptist. The Lancers in first in the WAC at 11-4. ACU at 10-5. It's a 2-2. TCU will make their last trip to Austin to play Texas in a Big 12 series. Of course, the Longhorns headed to the SEC, so the Horned Frogs and Longhorns from Dishfalk this weekend. Payoff pitch to Robinson. Fastball lifted right center field gap and tailing away from Radke. It's down. It'll three-hop the wall. It's extra bases for Robinson. He'll stop with a stand-up double with one out. That's the Horned Frogs' 6th hit of the night.
Yeah, really hard line drive out into right center field by Robinson. This ball hit the turf and just boosted out towards the wall. And a great double here with one out. Put himself in scoring position. TCU just trying to keep the offense rolling and keep chipping away at this 7-2 deficit they face here in the 4th inning.
6 hits on the night, 6 of the 9 Horned Frogs already with a hit. Jack Arthur has one of those. He singled and scored in the 3rd.
Jack Arthur, you mentioned, had a single back in the 3rd inning. It was that high chopper over to D'Alessio at 3rd base, able to beat it out for the infield single.
Here's the 1-0. This one hit into center field. Radke to his right. He's got room. He'll make the catch. And second out of the inning. Back to the top of the order, and Sam Myers.
Now batting number 13, Sam Myers.
Really good job there by Chandler Benson, bouncing back after giving up the double, getting the second out of the inning. Now he faces the top of the order for the Frogs with Sam Myers, who singled in his last at bat and then came around and scored.
Yeah, pulled the ball into right field. Back-to-back hits with Arthur. They both scored. Robinson at second, the one-out double. We can close the line on Rolando De La Cruz, the Wildcats' second pitcher tonight. He pitched the 3rd inning, 1 inning of work, 2 runs, both earned, 4 hits. Did have a strikeout, 32 pitches. Garcia with 32 pitches, De La Cruz also with 32 pitches. Benson misses on the outside. It's 2 balls and no strikes.
Benson working away from the hitter here, lefty-lefty matchup. Trying to throw that sinking fastball low and away, just missing off of the plate. Faces a 2-0 count now here, trying to get back in the zone and get back in this at-bat.
Chopper right side, Greer, first step of the outfield grass. He'll make the play, throw over in time. 3.5 complete from Crutcher Scott. ACU hanging on to the lead. It's 7-2 Wildcats, middle of the 4th. Hey, welcome back to the ballpark. Buy some peanuts and Cracker Jacks. Look out. Everybody having some fun at the ballpark. A 7-2 Wildcat lead. We move to the bottom of the 4th. Our 3rd Horned Frog pitcher of the night, Colt Taylor, the right-hander. His numbers are impressive, Jaden, when you look on the stat sheet.
Yeah, 3 1/3 innings pitched. Yet to give up an earned run. That 0.00 ERA, as you see there, 2 strikeouts in those 3 1/3 innings. A graduate student transferring in from Tennessee Tech. Spent the last 2 seasons there. Had a team best ERA of 3.13 back at his freshman season. Doing a good job for the Horned Frogs of the bullpen this season so far. He comes into the 4th inning trying to keep the score down for ACU's offense.
His 7th appearance of the year. He will see the top of the lineup. Benjamin Greer, Miller Ladisaw, Gino D'Alessio. 3rd time through the lineup. Greer and Ladisaw batted twice in the 1st inning. 11 batters to the plate in that Wildcat bottom of the 1st. All 7 runs scored by ACU. TCU responded with 2 in the top of the 3rd. That's where we are here in the bottom of the 4th. Greer tonight does not have an official at bat. He walked and scored. He also has a sacrifice fly and an RBI. All of that, again, in the 1st inning. He'll show bunt. A sidearm delivery here from Taylor. He'll pull it back, take a ball.
And Greer retired that last out of the inning. Last half inning with a chopper over to second base, able to kind of jump and make the grab and fire it over to first base for the third out. Taylor watching him warm up with that sidearm delivery. Likes to throw the changeup. You saw one there. Something that isn't very common in today's age of baseball. You don't see a really good changeup thrower, but Taylor likes to rely on it, throwing it low and away in the low 80s.
Rear hits this one out into right field. Boyer's a few steps back. He's underneath it, and he'll make the catch. Taylor's longest outing this year is just an inning. He did that back on March the 3rd versus USC. He's gone 2/3 of an inning a few times. His last outing was April the 7th, that in the series at Cincinnati, just 1/3 of an inning. So here, what we think is in short relief.
Yeah, and one thing that sticks out about Taylor, he fills up the strike zone, hasn't allowed a walk on the season.
And now Miller Ladisaw hits one the opposite way into the left center field gap. Extra bases for the WAC Player of the Week, Miller Ladisaw. Extends his hitting streak. It's out to 7 games and a 1-out double for Miller Ladisaw.
The third baseman, Gino D'Alessio.
Miller does a great job of taking it where it's pitched. He hits that one the opposite way into that left center field gap.
Yeah, and of course, he's a big left-handed hitter. Lots of power to the pull side, but also a little bit of power to the opposite side of the field as he racks up those extra base hits. Swinging gap to gap, and now D'Alessio up with a runner in score position and another RBI opportunity for him.
7 hits for ACU tonight. 4 have been doubles. D'Alessio has a single, that back in that first inning. Single and a run scored. Fastball hit the opposite way, foul. Look out in the stands. Other games in the WAC tonight. Utah and Utah Valley, that already a final. Utah, the Utes, boy, the bats were hot. They beat Utah Valley 27-4 today. Seattle U, an afternoon win today. They beat St. Martin's University 10-2. Those are already finals. Hey, let's send it down field level to Daisy Strine. Daisy?
Thanks, Andy. Just yesterday, graduate outfielder Miller Ladisaw was announced as WAC's Player of the Week. In the last week out, Ladisaw finished hitting 8 for 13 with 6 runs, 5 RBIs, 4 doubles, and 1 home run. In the last series against UC Davis, he went 7 for 10 with 6 runs, 3 doubles, 1 home run, 5 RBIs, and 1 stolen base. Guys, back over to you.
Yeah, well deserved that WAC Player of the Week last week. He's out at second with a 1-out double. Pitch outside, it's a full count here to Gino D'Alessio. D'Alessio, the hitting streak at 7, the on-base streak at 32. It's the 37th game of the year, so been on base almost every game of his Wildcat season. Off-speed pitch, fouled out. We'll do the 3-2 again.
Yeah, D'Alessio, a very tough out. He leads the team in batting average, slugging, RBIs, and home runs. He's up here now with 1 out and a runner on second. D'Alessio batting .364 with runners in scoring position so far this season.
The WAC leader in RBIs with 39. Foul it off again. New Mexico State is at Tarleton. That's a 2-game midweek. They play tonight and tomorrow. Sacramento State is at Stanford tonight, playing the Pac-12 tonight. Grand Canyon as well. They're hosting Arizona out in Phoenix. Payoff pitch, fouled off again. Grand Canyon 2 games midweek this week versus the Pac-12. Arizona tonight, Washington State tomorrow night. Both of those at home. The 4th payoff pitch of the at-bat. Swung on and missed. Taylor wins the battle. Out number 2 here in the 4th.
Really great pitch there. Threw the changeup on the inside part of the plate. He'd been going away and getting the foul contact from DeLesio, but he goes back inside here and ties him up. Swing and a miss for strike 3. One thing about Taylor, his time at Tennessee Tech as a relief pitcher, allowed just 5 of the 18 inherited runners to score. Does a really good job pitching with runners in scoring position, getting the strikeout, and he did a really nice job there to get the second out of the inning.
Maddox Meese 1 for 2, the 3-out double, or 3-run double. 3-run double in the first. Busted our scoreless tie. The first 3 of 7 in the inning. We can close the book on Zach Morris, the second pitcher for TCU tonight. 3 innings of work, 2 runs, just 1 of the 2 are earned. 2 runs on 4 hits, 1 strikeout, 38 pitches, 26 of the 38 were strikes. This one gets away, wild pitch to the backstop. Lattisaw will move up. Morris did a great job, I thought, of just stopping some bleeding. Just a terrible start for the Horned Frogs tonight. Morris came in and shut down the Wildcats to at least give the Frogs a chance to get back in this thing.
Definitely one of his better outings on the year. He struggled a little bit with the walks, but did a really good job of filling up the strike zone and finding a way to get outs and eat up a couple innings early in this ballgame.
Now 3-1 as that stays on the inside. Macy starting to add up the RBIs, rack up the RBIs. 3 tonight, had 4 on the Grand Slam Friday night versus UC Davis. So 7 of his 23 here in the last 4 days. It's a full count. Lattisaw at third. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Taylor, the payoff pitch. Outside for ball 4. It's a quality plate appearance for Maddox Meese. Runners on the corners with 2 outs.
Yeah, really great job by Meese. Taking it deep into the count. Meese's got a great eye, as we've seen all season long, and knows where the strike zone is. And good job of fighting off a couple tough pitches, but ultimately drawing the walk to put runners on the corners here in the 4th inning with 2 outs.
And DJ Van Atten to the plate. 1 for 2 tonight. Reached on an error and scored in the first, a double in the second. And Taylor has not given up an earned run all season long. Lattisaw 90 feet away. Other games in the Big 12 tonight. Eastern Kentucky at Cincinnati. Pitt at West Virginia. West Virginia leading the Big 12 at 11-4. They are tied with Oklahoma. This one stays inside, 1-1. Of course, a big game in Fayetteville tonight. Texas Tech at Arkansas. The Razorbacks are not number 1 in the country this week. Lost 2 of 3 at Alabama this past weekend. They dropped to number 2. 1-1 in 4 strikeouts, 1-2. The new number 1 team in the country, the Texas A&M Aggies. Coached by former Horned Frog skipper Jim Schlossnagle, 17 years in Fort Worth. Got the Aggies at 32-4, number 1 team in the country.
Yeah, they're rolling right now. As a lot of good baseball being played here in the southern part of the country. Of course, the SEC, always a powerhouse when it comes to baseball. And the Big 12 doing a really good job of putting out some quality teams on diamonds all across the country. West Virginia and Oklahoma, as you said, leading the Big 12. But Oklahoma State and Texas not too far behind, as they're just at 10-5 and 9-6.
And Oklahoma State has been hot as a pistol, no pun intended. Pistols firing. The Cowboys 10-5 now in the conference. Here's the 2-2 on the outside corner for strike 3. Taylor with 2 strikeouts in the inning. And the side is retired. 4 complete in Abilene. Special guest joining us here on the program. It's the president of Abilene Christian University. It's Dr. Phil Schubert. He is down field level with Daisy. Daisy.
Thanks, guys. What are your thoughts on the atmosphere here this evening?
Oh, man, it's great. The students came out tonight. They're lining the left field wall down there. We have some I even saw looking over center field, and, of course, there's plenty in the stands, and we brought a lot of fans in from the community. So it's a great crowd. It helps to score 7 runs in the first inning. That kind of brings the energy alive, but, man, what a great atmosphere. Couldn't ask for more.
What does it mean to play big Power 5 schools here on the campus of ACU?
You know, I think it gives a certain level of legitimacy to our programs. I mean, our students and our fans love it when we play up, right? I mean, all the players, the fans, they always want to see, can we measure up against the big teams, the ones that, you know, we read about and watch on TV. And for us to be able to play at that level in Division I is one of the things that we knew when we made this move that we would have the opportunity to do. And I'm just so proud of our athletes and coaches, because when we play up, we do well, especially in baseball.
What are your thoughts on the students having the ability to work for ESPN Plus and putting our games out there live for the crowd to see?
You know, I think across the university, one of the things I'm most proud of is the way we engage students in real life experience that helps prepare them for careers. This is a great example. This is a completely student-run production. You guys are so professional. The studio that we have is amazing. We're doing things like this across in Next Lab with advanced nuclear and so many other areas where faculty and staff take a lot of pride in ensuring that we put you in a place to get the kind of experience you need to go and have a productive career. And that's one of the values of being at a smaller institution, where you can have those opportunities and get that experience prior to graduation.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much. We'll send it back to you guys.
Yeah, thank you, Daisy. Thank you, Dr. Schubert. Some exciting times around the campus of ACU these days. Not only athletically, but academically, not only here in Abilene, but across the country and worldwide. The purple and white of ACU represented very well. They're pleased with what they've seen on the diamond here tonight as we move to the top of the 5th. The Wildcats the 7-2 lead. Chandler Benson back out for a second inning. Carson Bowen to lead it off. Bowen, Byrne, and Silva, third time through the lineup. Got some special times around ACU these days, huh?
Oh, absolutely. The Wildcat community is a close one, a tight-knit one, and one that I'm very proud to be a part of. As one of my family attended ACU, so very, very proud to bleed the purple and white of the Wildcats.
Bowen will drive this one into the right center field gap. Extra bases. Radke has it at the wall. Bowen will put on the brakes at second. It's a leadoff double. Carson Bowen a double. Multiple hit game now. Is out at second base to lead off the 5th.
Yeah, really powerful swing, taking this pitch on the outside corner the other way, out into that right center field gap. We've seen a couple balls hit out there today for extra bases, and another one to lead off this inning here. Benson having to deal with a runner in scoring position with nobody out now. In the 3-hole, Curtis Byrne up to the plate for the Frogs.
Bowen, his 7th multi-hit game of the year, his 31st of his career. He's a second. Byrne 0 for 2 tonight. First offering, the lefty-righty matchup found on the right side. Check some scoreboards. Baylor leads UT Arlington 2-0. That ball game in the 7th. UTRGV leads Texas 4-1, bottom of the 3rd down in Austin. Utah Tech and BYU have yet to first pitch. Check that. They just updated Game Changer. They're tied at 2, bottom of the 2nd. And in for a strike. No balls and 2 strikes. Curtis Byrne.
The Texas score may be a shock to some fans across Texas. UTRGV going down there winning 4-1 right now. Of course, ACU went down to Austin earlier this season and got beat by a decent margin. Texas on a roll right now. And of course, the Horned Frogs travel down to Austin this weekend for the conference series.
Benson a long look into Meese. Comes set, the 1-2. Fastball just missed. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Really good pitch there by Benson. Taking another look at it here, low and in. That wasn't the pitch that you just saw. That was the previous ball, but really tough take by Byrne. Count even now, 2-2.
Macy relays the signs, the 2-2. Check swing. Did he go? Yes, he did, but it gets away from Macy. Now time has been called. Time has been called. And not exactly sure what the call is here. As it looked like a strike 3 that gets away. Byrne made his way down to first base. But time was called at the plate. And Byrne is out over at first. Must have been interference as Macy tried to chase. Well, I'm not sure.
And this ball went into the behind the railing of the dugout. And the home plate umpire signaling that the batter was out, but
he signified, and he called time and signified that Byrne was out, running down to first. But it looked like a drop third strike. First base was not occupied.
Yeah, you see the umpire there talking to Coach Rick McCarty. I think he mouthed the words, that was my bad. He was signaling that the strikeout was in play. But drop third strike puts the runner on first base as Macy not able to get over there and field it. Tough break for the Wildcats, as that was a really good pitch to get the swing and miss, but tough pitch for Macy to block. Runners on the corners now with nobody out.
Benson the strikeout. And no out on the scoreboard. There's Anthony Silva, 1 for 2. And the 2-run single back in the third. Another one that skips in. Macy pulls this one. There's another look at that strike 3 just a moment ago. The check swing. You can see that immediately Trent Petrie, the home plate umpire, calls time or blows the play dead. Gets it correct, everybody's safe. Another one that skips in. It's 2 balls and no strikes. Infield plays at double play depth. They'll take a double play ground ball for a run here in the top of the 5th. Benson misses again. It's 3-0.
Yeah, Benson's struggling here a little bit. Lots of pitches down in the dirt. Macy doing a really good job of keeping everything in front. 3-0 now the count. Silva 1 for 2 on the day. Reached all the way to third base. Had a 2 RBI single back in the third.
Takes sign at 3-0. Strike at 3-1. And that's ball 4. Bases are loaded for the Horned Frogs. Byrne will make his way to second. Silva now at first. Bowen over at third. And nobody out here in the top of the 5th. And a dangerous bat, Luke Boyers. Boyers 1 for 1 tonight. He's walked and singled, been stranded both times, but he's been on the base pass both times.
Yeah, Boyers coming in today, slugging .409. Chance to pick up an RBI or 2 here in the 5th, as we're going to have a mound visit from head coach Rick McCarty.
There was activity in the bullpen. A right-hander was getting warm, and Coach McCarty has made the call. Bases loaded, top of the 5th, nobody out. ACU a 7-2 lead, but the Horned Frogs with a chance to cut into the lead. We'll tell you about the new Wildcat pitcher here in just a moment. Back at ACU, 7-2 ball game. Wildcats have the lead, but the Horned Frogs have the bases loaded. Rick McCarty has gone to the bullpen. The 4th pitcher of the night for the Wildcats, Caden Grenay, the junior right-hander, will take over on the mound.
Yeah, Chandler Benson did a good job for the Wildcats, but unable to record it out here in this 5th inning. So Caden Grenay in now for ACU. Has done a really good job this season so far. Over 21 innings pitched and a 3.32 ERA, 22 strikeouts in those 21 2/3 innings. He's got 1 save under his belt on the year. The junior from Denton, Texas, looking to come in with his 3-pitch mix. Grenay throws a fastball, slider, and a changeup, the right-hander. Looking to come in and limit the damage. Nobody out, bases juiced.
High pressure situation here for the Wildcats. Bowen is at third, Byrne at second, Silva is at first. Nobody out here in the top of the fifth. Boyers again 1 for 1 tonight. He walked in the second, he singled in the third. Grenade's first offering. It's 1-0. Grenade worked 2 in the third innings versus UC Davis over the weekend. No runs, no hits. His last 2 outings have been scoreless baseball. The weekend before versus Stephen F. Austin, he worked an inning of scoreless baseball as well. Good off-speed pitch, 21.
Yeah, back-to-back curveballs to start Caden Grenade's outing here today. Both of them up in the zone a little bit. That one fell in for a strike. 1-1 now the count. He's going to be going to a lot of off-speed to try to generate a ground ball.
And here's a fastball driven into right field. 1 run is in. Everybody goes station to station. Grenade challenge with the fastball. Boyers rips it into right field. It's 7-3 Wildcats here in the top of the fifth. Bowen scores. Byrne to third. Silva now at second. Boyers behind him at first.
Number 23, Fisher Ingersoll.
And Bowen has RBI number 26 on the year.
Yeah, here in the middle of this game, Andy, this is definitely the chance for TCU to get something going and battle their way back in this ball game. So there's still nobody out here in the fifth, and the bases still remain loaded.
Fisher Ingersoll 0 for 2 tonight. Well out in front of the off-speed pitch.
Grenade's got that really great 12-6 curveball, lots of drop on it. Really high spin rate as well. Likes to throw it early in counts and use it to get ahead and throw it in the strike zone, as he did there. 0-1 now the count.
And another one. Back-to-back benders. It's 0-2.
With the 4-run lead, the infield still playing back. Looking to turn a double play. If it's hit to third or short, look to get it to second, over to first for the double play and try to get the first 2 outs of the inning.
0-2, swung on and missed again. It's a 3-pitch strikeout. Caden Grenade and a big first out here at the top of the fifth.
Great job, 3 curveballs in a row. This one a big one. Lots of drop on it, down in the strike zone, and a huge swing and a miss for strike 3. Really good battle there from Grenade to get the first out.
Peyton Chotinier 0 for 2 tonight. Pop up and a ground out. Righty-righty matchup. Grenade's first offering. Another bender and another strike. Challenged Boyers with the fastball a moment ago. Boyers the single into right. Ever since, it's been nothing but breaking stuff. And another 4 strike. It's 0-2.
Yeah, Coach McCarty does a really good job of utilizing his bullpen and knowing what guys he has out there. Say so far, it's been a great call to go to Grenade to come in and pitch these hitters backwards, per se. Throw the curveball early and then maybe fastball 0-2 up in the zone and try to get swing and misses. Lots of strikeouts.
And an 0-2 swung on and missed. Back-to-back strikeouts with the bases loaded. Chotinier down on strikes. That's 6 pitches in a row, all for strikes, 2 strikeouts.
Yeah, and all curveballs. Lots of swing and misses. The Frogs having a tough time finding the barrel on Caden Grenade's big, heavy 12-6.
Ryder Robinson 1 for 2 tonight. A double in the 4th. Stranded out there. The Frogs have stranded runners in each of the first 4 innings. And got them loaded here, trying to chip away at a 4-run deficit. ACU with all 7 runs in the first inning. TCU with 2 in the 3rd. They've added 1 here in the 5th. The bases were loaded with nobody out. They're still loaded with 2 outs. Caden Grenade trying to get out of this top of the 5th with no more damage done. Another curveball swung on and missed.
Yeah, it's 8 in a row, Andy, from Grenade. Powerful 12-6. Did a really good job of locating it down to the zone. This Horned Frog hitter is just not able to make contact with it so far.
This one stays low. 24 strikeouts compared to just 9 walks. We've had 3 strikeouts in the inning. Curtis Byrne struck out on a pitch that got away from Maddox. Meese reached safely. He's now at third. Silva at second. Boyers at first. Here's the 2-1. Another one fouled right at the plate. 2 balls and 2 strikes. You got your favorite 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs superstition?
Oh, absolutely.
What are you pulling out of the bag here?
I take the cap off and kind of shake it a little bit, then drop it on the pitch. It was always my 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs go-to. If I was in the infield, I was rubbing the hat with 2 fingers, rubbing the brim.
Here's your chance. 2-2 with 2 outs. And a full count. Runners a chance to get on the move here. 3-2 with 2 outs. Williams at first will play deep. He'll play deep all the way around the infield. Even DeLessio at third plays deep. Take a hard ground ball for a force out at any base. Grenade set. Robinson ready. Payoff pitch. Slow roller down to first. Williams has it. He'll touch the bag. Frogs leave him loaded in the top of the 5th. The side is retired. Halfway through the ball game at Crutcher Scott, ACU. We've got a 4-run lead. We'll go to the bottom of the 5th. And back at the ballpark, you can see a great crowd on hand here tonight. Wildcats a 7-3 lead halfway through the ball game. Jaden, that's a huge job. Caden Grenade coming in. Bases loaded, nobody out, and he leaves them that way.
Yeah, and 12 straight curveballs to get those last 3 outs. Strikeout, and then a slow roller over to first base. Really good job of limiting the damage and keeping a 4-run lead here in the bottom of the 5th. The Wildcats looking to get an offense going. They haven't had much since the first inning. Gonna find a way to get some more runs up on the board.
7 runs, 7 hits tonight for ACU. 5 of the 7 hits came in that 7-run first inning. Been pretty quiet ever since. Colt Taylor back on the mound here, bottom of the 5th. Taylor's longest outing this year has just been 1 inning, so if he retires an out here in the 5th, it will be his longest outing. There's a ball driven down the right field line, stays fair. Extra bases for Zant Payne. As the throw comes in, it's a stand-up double. Bowen at first had a chance, I thought, to make that catch on the liner, but skips up over his glove and into the corner for a base hit.
Yeah, big-time leadoff at bat by Zant Payne. Hard hit ball over 100 miles an hour. Snuck in fair, just barely, but gets a stand-up double. A great way to start this 5th inning for the Wildcats.
It's Payne's 7th multi-hit game now of the year. He had a single in the first and now the double. And here's Rance Radke. Officially 0 for 2, but does have an RBI. Sacrifice bunt. Texas Tech a 6-0 lead at Arkansas. They play in the top of the 3rd. We saw that offense at Texas Tech here last week. 9 home runs here at Crutcher Scott last Wednesday. They've got a 6-0 lead on the Razorbacks. That's up high. Oklahoma State leads Dallas Baptist, a game of ranked teams. The 15th ranked Cowboys lead the 19th ranked DBU 5-4. That's top of the 6th. They play it up at O'Brate Stadium in Stillwater. Radke will show bunt, lays it down third base side. It's a beauty. Charging is Chatinier. He'll make the throw across. The sacrifice is successful as Payne goes second to third. 1 out here in the bottom of the 5th.
Yeah, another really great job of doing a job here by Rance Radke. He tried to run it out, but ultimately got it down to get the runner over to third and put him there with less than 2 outs as Garrett Williams, really great hitter for the Wildcats, comes up.
Williams tonight 1 for 2, an RBI single back in the first. Flew out to right the next time. Infield plays in here for the Frogs. Try to cut off home plate on a hard hit ground ball. First step of the infield dirt all the way around. 1-0. It's outside, 2 balls and no strikes. Central Florida has beaten North Florida tonight by a final of 10-3. Central Florida currently in the 10th place spot in the conference. TCU trying to catch them. UCF at 8 and 10. TCU at 7 and 11. So UCF the winner tonight versus North Florida. Again, 10-3 the final. Cincinnati has beaten Eastern Kentucky tonight as well, 12-2. Cincinnati in the 9th place spot right ahead of UCF. 2-0 to Williams. Lifted foul and out of play. Houston is taking on Houston Christian tonight. The Cougars a 4-0 lead on the Huskies. It's 4-0 bottom of the 6th. Kansas State, the longest road trip in the midweek, went to Storrs, Connecticut tonight to take on UConn. UConn beats K-State 4-0. The 2-1. 3 balls and 1 strike. How about that for a midweek?
Yeah, it's a long trip, a lot of hard travel, and then I believe they travel all the way back to play
the Cowboys this weekend.
Cowboys, yeah, at Oklahoma State. Yep. So a lot of distance for the Wildcats of Kansas State. Tough midweek. Tough loss too tonight.
4-1, put on the ground, left side, it gets away from Chantier. And it will allow Payne to come in and score. Payne had jumped back, he had dove back into the third base bag, assuming Chantier was going to make that play. It skips away at the last second. Williams is safe, Payne scores. It's an 8-3 Wildcat lead.
Yeah, and here's another look at it. Choppy ground ball over to the third base side. Good job by Payne to dive back to the bag. Good base running, but Chantier not able to make the play as that ball goes over to the wall in foul territory. Wildcats pick up their 8th run to extend their lead, and now a runner on first with just 1 out, and Holden Rook up to the plate.
We'll wait for the official scoring. I think that's got to be an E5, but we'll wait for the official scoring. And it is E5 on the play. So Williams now at first. 1 out. Holden Rook 1 for 2, a double back in that first inning.
Yeah, and with that error, it's going to go as an unearned run, which means Colt Taylor keeps his 0.00 ERA on the season so far. Really good pitch to get the ground ball, but unfortunate error scores the run and puts another runner on base and keeps the inning with 1 out.
You know, Chantier tried to backhand that, and Payne was diving back into third as he was trying to make the play. I don't know if he just took his eyes off the ball that long to miss that or not. So Rook will lift this one shallow center field. Myers right on the ACU logo will make the catch. It's a tough play. This is a TCU team with a .977 fielding percentage. They've only made 27 errors on the year, but 2 tonight, and both have been costly. Folks, Kirk Sarlos out to the mound. We might have a pitching change. Longest outing of the year for Colt Taylor, an inning and 2/3. But his night has come to an end. 2 outs, bottom of the 5th. ACU an 8-3 lead. We'll tell you about the new Frog pitcher after we step away. Back to ACU, a pitching change for Kirk Sarlos and the Horned Frogs. As taking over on the mound, the lefty, Chase Hoover, will be on the mound, Jake.
Yeah, Hoover's seen 11 innings this season so far, giving up 13 hits and a 7.36 ERA, as you see there on your screen. 2023, he was pretty good, 35 innings and just over a 5 ERA with 34 strikeouts, so he's going to be coming in here. Another left-handed pitcher. We've seen several lefties from TCU. This one having to face the top of the Wildcat order.
Hoover, the 5th pitcher tonight. Braden Sloan, Zach Morris, and then Colt Taylor, and now it's Hoover on the mound. 14th appearance of the year. 15 strikeouts, 8 walks. He inherits a runner at first base, 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th. Top of the lineup, Benjamin Greer.
That's fourth pitcher of the night, Andy, for TCU.
Yeah. Greer walked in the first and scored a sacrifice fly and an RBI. That also in the first. Flew out to right in the fourth. 8 runs now, 8 hits for the Wildcats, no errors. 3 runs, 8 hits, 2 errors for the Frogs.
Let's go, BG.
Good stop back behind the dish by Byrne.
A really good job blocking that pitch. That was really tough. It bounced a couple feet in front of the plate. Hard fastball too, so those are the toughest ones to block for a catcher, but he did a good job of eating it up in his stomach there and keeping it in front to not let the runner advance 90 feet. Greer had that RBI sacrifice fly back in the first inning. They got the 7th run home for ACU, and then flew out in the 4th.
Greer's been really solid. He's been in the leadoff spot since the SFA series for about the last 2 weeks, last 6-7 games. He's been really solid in that position. He's a guy who's worked his way through the lineup. They started down in the bottom third, but really come alive as the leadoff man. That pitch misses. Full count here with 2 outs. Chance for Williams over at first to get the wheels turning on the payoff pitch.
Yeah, Greer's a guy, you watched him in the fall and earlier this year. I thought he had a lot of promise in finding his way in the lineup. Didn't get a lot of looks early in the season, but now finding his way in that leadoff spot, as you mentioned, and doing a really good job.
Payoff pitch, a fastball lifted out to right field. Boyers has it tracked. He'll make the catch, and the side is retired. Wildcats scratch across a run here in the bottom of the 5th. Their first since the first. Back to a 5-run spread here at the end of 5. Caden Grenade back on the mound, 2nd inning of work here for Rick McCarty and the Wildcats. Jaden, we saw him come in, bases loaded, nobody out, and he gets out of the inning with no damage done. It was the breaking pitch that worked well for him there in the 5th.
Yeah, and he starts off with a fastball here, something we did not see a lot of last inning because he threw 12 curveballs in a row. Take a look here, this beautiful sky in Abilene, Texas. It's a great night for baseball.
Perfect April night here in Abilene. Started the night at 87 degrees. It's Arthur and then the top of the lineup, Myers and Bowen, scheduled to bat here in the 6th. Arthur tonight 1 for 2, single and a run scored and a fly out. Behind in the count 0-2. Try it again, no balls and 2 strikes. This may be the best crowd we've seen all season long here at Crutcher Scott. Had a good crowd last week versus Texas Tech. Of course, the 2 West Texas teams, they get together here in Abilene. Always a great crowd, but the postponement from Tuesday to Wednesday hurt that crowd a little bit. The crowd tonight on a beautiful night with the Horned Frogs in town, it's a good one. Wildcats at home this weekend, the big WAC series versus California Baptist. We're hoping the weather will stay away this weekend. The forecast does not look promising. Here's the ball lifted fairly deep and right. Rook on the warning track. Has room, he'll make the catch. It's a long fly out. Out number 1 here at the top of the 6th.
Yeah, that ball was hit high. Carried out deep into right field pretty nicely. Traveled about 325 feet, but just stayed inside the wall. Caught on the warning track for out 1.
Top of the lineup, Sam Myers. 1 for 3, a single and a run scored in the 3rd. So he pulled one through on the right side into right field. Shows bunt, tries to lay it down, hits it too hard right at Grenade. Easy play for Caden off the mound, 1-3.
Yeah, and I get what Myers is trying to do to generate some offense and find a way on base, but really just a gift for the Wildcats as Grenade able to just throw 1 pitch and get the 2nd out of the inning. Keep his pitch count low, and that's huge. in the middle of this ball game.
He wanted to try to push bunt that deeper than where Grenade could play it. Greer at second base was playing well deep, but did not get it out far enough off the mound and deep enough from Grenade. An easy play. First pitch here to Bowen in for a strike. Bowen a good night tonight, 2 for 3, as you can see, a double and a run scored. Led off the 5th with the double. Scored the lone run in that inning, but the Horned Frogs had him loaded with nobody out. Grenade then strikes out Ingersoll, strikes out Chatinier, gets a ground ball over to first by Robinson. Williams plays 3 unassisted. And now 1 pitch away from getting out of the top of the 6th. One ball, 2 strikes to Carson Bowen. Stays outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
And Grenade pitching top of this order here for the Frogs a little differently than he did in the 5th. Relying on that fastball a little bit more than using the curveball as a pitch off of that. There's a curveball there in the dirt, but still the fastball located it really well. It's sitting 92 right now, so some good velo out of Caden Grenade.
Bowen's fought back to a full count. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Grenade works out of the stretch. Gets the one he likes from Misi. Kick, payoff pitch. Grounder to shortstop, Payne. Glove side, makes the play, throws over in time, 6-3. It's a 3 up, 3 down, top of the 6th for Caden Grenade. We'll move to the bottom of the 6th. Wildcats, they've got the 8-3 lead. Bottom of 6th, look at that sky here in the big country of Abilene, Texas, an 8-3 lead. Hey, here's a look at the WAC standings, Jaden. As you can see, ACU just 1 game behind Grand Canyon, California Baptist. Both of those teams still on the schedule. We had a fun run in the last 5 weeks of the WAC conference season. Wildcats right in the mix. They'll be in Mesa, Arizona at the WAC tournament later this year. As far as the Big 12, still some work to do for the Horned Frogs. You can see down in the 11th place spot. Boy, it's been tough going here in the Big 12. Top 10 will make the Big 12 tournament later in Arlington. Some work to do for the Frogs.
Yeah, and TCU in the preseason picked in 11 of the 13 first place votes, picked to win the Big 12, and now they're fighting for a spot in the tournament come May. So TCU trailing here on a midweek against ACU, but they go to Austin this weekend, try to get back on track in conference as they play the Longhorns, who last I checked were trailing to UTRGV.
UTRGV, 10-1 lead, top of the 4th down in Austin. Another WAC Big 12 matchup tonight. Miller Lattisaw leads off here the bottom of the 6th, 1 for 2 tonight. And a double back in the 4th. California Baptist again at 11-4 will be here this weekend. They played their midweek game yesterday. They beat UNLV 6-2 the final. The Lancers are winners of 5 in a row. They swept Stephen F. Austin this past weekend with 3 shutouts. Outscored SFA 27-0 last weekend. 10-0 twice, 7-0 in the middle game. So the Lancers are hot. There's a 1-2 swung on and missed. Strikeout for Hoover to start the bottom of the 6th inning.
Yeah, really great breaking ball there from Hoover. Lattisaw's a tough out, but this one low in the zone and just too tough to not offer out for Lattisaw. Hoover got the last out of the last inning and then comes out here and retires the first one in a big bat. He has to face now in Gino D'Alessio.
Top batting average for the Wildcats, 376 to start the night, 1 for 3 tonight. We can close the line on Colt Taylor, the 3rd pitcher for TCU tonight. He goes an inning and 2/3, his longest outing of the year. 1 run on 2 hits, 2 strikeouts and a walk. D'Alessio swings and misses, it's 1-1. 39 pitches for Taylor tonight. That's the most of a TCU pitcher. Morris threw 38, Sloan just 22. Tough outing for Braden Sloan, the starter tonight. He faces 5 batters, all 5 reach, all 5 score. Tough outing for Sloan. Frogs have been battling uphill all night long. ACU was 7 in the first. Alessio hits that off the end of the bat foul. 2 balls and 2 strikes. CBU is here this weekend. Grand Canyon, who is also 11-4, they'll play host to Utah Tech this weekend. Utah Valley is also 10-5 like ACU. Utah Valley plays host to UT Arlington. That's a big series in Orem, Utah this weekend.
Yeah, with Utah Valley hosting UTA, and then GCU still has ACU and Cal Baptist to play later this season. A lot of really great WAC baseball, top of the standings playing each other down the stretch.
This ball popped up foul territory. Long run for Bowen. He can't track it. Tried to play it up over the shoulder and could not track it in the West Texas sky. Do the payoff pitch again. Utah Valley also on Grand Canyon's schedule. They've got the top 3 teams, CBU, ACU, and Utah Valley, all left on their schedule. I think ACU is the schedule, I hate to say more favorable in the back half, but 3 of the 5 series are here at home. They do have to go to GCU in early May. Payoff pitch to Alessio. It's ball 4.
Yeah, a lot of home games down the stretch for ACU. In the middle of a 9-game homestand right now. This is game 5 of that. In a press conference with Coach Rick McCarty yesterday morning, he talked about how important that is when it comes to the recovery piece. Just the amount of rest you can have ending a series on Sunday, being able to rest Sunday night instead of having to travel and get back late. And they take the Monday off and then back on a midweek on a Tuesday or Wednesday game. It's really important down the stretch how much rest they get as opposed to traveling on the road.
Maddox Meese, the big hit, the 3-run double in the first. Yeah, he said something similar last week when the homestand started. He just said, you know, we haven't had a chance to practice. We're either playing or traveling. We haven't had a chance to really practice. Haven't had a chance to just sharpen our skills, get some extra, you know, pitches in the batting cage, field some more ground balls, etc. So it's nice just to have this 2 weeks at home. It started last Tuesday with Texas Tech. It ends next Tuesday with a midweek versus Tarleton in the WAC, but not a WAC game next Tuesday. But all 9 of those games in the 2-week stretch here at home. Just a chance to sharpen the skills in this back half of WAC play. There's the 0-2, swung on and missed. Second strikeout of the inning for Hoover. Meese down on strikes the second time tonight.
Yeah, good fastball up in the zone. Meese just couldn't quite catch up to it, just behind it and underneath it as well for the swing and miss. Strike 3 for the second out of the inning.
So the sophomore from Santa Barbara, 2 Ks in the inning. DJ Van Atten, 1 for 3. Reached on an error, he doubled. He scored a run tonight. Alessio still at first, that's one foul. 8 runs, 8 hits, no errors for ACU. 3, 8, and 2 for the visiting Frogs. The second time these two have played this year. TCU the better of ACU 4-0 back on March the 5th. Lumpton Stadium in Fort Worth. The last game of a 13-0 start for TCU this year.
When you look on paper, TCU a really great team on both sides of the ball, but the offense just struggling a little bit as of late. At Texas Tech this last weekend with the series win, the pitching did a really great job of limiting an explosive Red Raider offense and didn't have to put up a lot of runs, but we see here tonight again, only 3 runs so far. ACU pitching doing a really good job of getting outs of these Horned Frogs.
And 2 wins over the weekend, but 4 runs in each of those. A 4-2 win on Saturday, 4-3 on Sunday. Yeah, in this stretch, this 21-game stretch where TCU is 9-12, they've scored 5 runs or fewer in 15 of those 21 games. So runs have just been hard to come by. The 1-2, runner on the move. Throw down to second is late. It's a head first slide and a stolen base. Gino D'Alessio, he's in scoring position. 2-2 count here to DJ Van Atten. First stolen base tonight for the Wildcats.
Yeah, that's D'Alessio's third of the year. He's a successful 3 for 3 on the season in stolen bases. Great job there of getting in scoring position now for Van Atten with a 2-2 count.
Do it again. Wildcats don't steal much, just their 39th stolen base of the year in game number 37. Hoover's battling here at bottom of the 6th already with 2 strikeouts. Try to strike out the side. 2 balls, 2 strikes, DJ Van Atten. Frog pitching has 5 strikeouts as a staff tonight. 2-2. Down low, good stop behind the dish.
Yeah, there's that strikeout pitch that we had seen in the previous 2 outs, both with Ladisal and Bisi. The curveball in the dirt that tried to get the chase, but Van Atten doing a really good job of laying off of it to bring his count to full now. Good AB so far.
Payoff pitch. Swung on and missed for strike 3. Chase Hoover strikes out the side here in the bottom of the 6th. The 1-out walk does no damage. 8-3 Wildcats, 6 in the books. Caden Grenade still on the mound here, his 3rd inning of work. Jaden, he's been impressive. Wildcats still the 8-3 lead here as we go to the back 3 innings here, top of the 7th. TCU coming to bat here in top 7. Curtis Byrne, Anthony Silva, Luke Boyers, 4th time through the lineup. Look at Grenade again, his 3rd inning of work.
Last inning, 3 of 3 down. He had the fly out, the ground out on the attempted bunt, and then the ground out to short as well. So doing a really good job of getting weak contact and finding outs. Of course, that first inning he pitched, a lot of swing and misses on the curveball. Grenade hitting on all cylinders so far in this game in his outing.
27 pitches through his 2 innings, no runs, 1 hit, 2 strikeouts. Curtis Burns struck out twice tonight. He's 0 for 3. Starting the night tonight, I asked Rick McCarty, I said, what's the pitcher setup? Are we going inning by inning, or what are we doing? I think after a 7-run bottom of the 1st, I'm sure his thought process changed a little bit of, okay, we got a chance to attack this thing a little bit differently. The 7-run lead, and his pitchers have responded. Garcia goes 2 innings, Dela Cruz an inning, Benson an inning, Grenade 2 innings. He's at 1-2, that roped into left field. Ladisal started out, comes in, makes a slide, and makes the catch. Didn't find it well off the bat, but had time to recover. Makes the sliding catch for out number 1.
Yeah, tough read out there. This ball was hit on a rope. Ladisal thought it was going to carry further than it did, but able to adjust and come in and make the sliding grab for out 1. You know, you mentioned after ACU jumping out to a 7-0 lead, maybe changes the mindset of McCarty and the way he approaches, the way he utilizes the bullpen in this game. But of course, you still have to keep in mind the weekend series really important against Cal Baptist this weekend, so you can't use up too much pitching at once in this game. But when you have guys like Grenade come out and be really efficient on the bump, is huge in the midweek matchup.
Anthony Silva already behind in the count, 0-2. 1 for 2 night tonight, a 2-run single in the 3rd. That's the big hit for the Frogs thus far. 0-2, good stop by Macy, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
There's that curveball again. Head 0-2, look for him to probably do it once more, as he likes to go to it, especially when he is ahead in the count.
1-2. Swung on and missed, gets away from Meese. 2nd time tonight we've seen the Frogs strike out but get on base. Byrne did it in the 5th, Silva will do it here in the 7th.
Yeah, this was a fastball in the outside corner, just off the glove of Misi. And the umpires are going to meet in the middle of the field, maybe determine if that was a foul ball. The hitter did swing at it. It's twice that Misi's had a swinging drop third strike that he hasn't been able to handle.
Well, Silva didn't make any reaction like he tipped it. So you get a replay of it here.
Now you see his eyes go back towards the glove, seeing that Misi didn't drop it. The call's going to remain. It's going to go as the drop third strike, and the runner safe at first base. So still just one out here in the inning.
Second time tonight that's happened. Curtis Byrne reached again in the 5th, and now Silva with one out in the 7th. Luke Boyers 2 for 2. He's been on base all 3 times. Big cut on the bender. Baylor has beaten UT Arlington tonight. The Big 12 beats the WAC in Arlington 3-1 the final. The Bears, who started so slow, are almost back to 500. They're 17-18. Runner on the move, throw down to second, skips into center field. Silva, though, a feet first slide, cannot advance, but he's got the stolen base. He's into scoring position.
That's Silva's 9th stolen base on the year in his 11th attempt. Does a really good job of getting himself into scoring position and swiping bags, using his legs to generate some offense, and he takes off for third.
Runner on the move again. Second stolen base. No throw this time, down to third. Silva 90 feet away.
And neither one of the middle infielders was holding him on. He had a really great jump and had that bag swiped easily. So now a runner on third with less than 2 outs.
Oh, 0-2 to Boyers. He blocks this one. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Boy, Maddox is taking a beating back there, but doing a great job.
Yeah, he's been put to the test here with Grenae's curveball, bouncing in the dirt several times. BC doing a good job of keeping everything in front as he swallowed that one and kept it in the glove.
2-2, swung on and missed. Boyers retired for the first time tonight. It's a Grenae strikeout, his third. 2 outs here in the 7th.
Yeah, that just speaks to how great this Grenae 12-6 curveball is. Another swing and a miss from a hitter that's been really hot tonight. Reached on base all 3 times prior to that at bat. And now 2 outs here in the 7th. I can go focus on the batter and get one more out of this inning and go hit again.
Fisher Ingersoll 0 for 3 tonight. 2 strikeouts and a ground out. Bender again swung on and missed. Grenae closing in on his longest outing of the year. He's gone 3 innings twice this year versus Oklahoma State back at Globe Life Field. Also had a 3-inning outing versus Texas A&M Corpus Christi. There's a ground ball right side. Greer has it cleanly. Side is retired. Chalk it up to his longest outing of the year. One more time out of the bullpen. Caden Grenae shuts down the Frogs. 8-3, stretch time in Abilene. 8-3 Wildcats, bottom of the 7th inning. Zant Payne to lead it off. Payne, Radke, and Williams here in the bottom of the 7th. What a job, Caden Grenae. 4 outs retired in that inning. The drop third strike, but Grenae does a job. He gets out of that top of the 7th, strands a runner over at third base. Zant Payne, a 2-hit night already tonight. Single and a double, 2 runs scored.
He found that first pitch sharply off to the right side. He already had a double down the right field line in his last at bat. Doing a really good job of hitting it where it's pitched and taking it the other way, something he does very well at.
Chase Hoover still in the ball game, and a nice bottom of the 6th. Struck out the side in the 6th inning. Payne will hit this the opposite way. Stays fair down into the corner. Payne going for extra base hit. Number 2 tonight, a sliding in double to lead off the bottom of the 7th. It's a 2 for 3 night for Zan Payne. Check that, a 3 for 4 night for Zan Payne.
Yeah, 3 hits. And the second time we've seen a double down the right field line. This one was hit really hard. First baseman not able to make the play once again. And play was pretty close. As Payne almost slid up, sent it up over, came off the bag, but able to keep his hand on and lead off, get all the way to second base.
It's the 6th double tonight for ACU. Came in with 64 on the year. And that's 6 of them tonight. Payne has 2 of them. Scoring position, nobody out. Rance Radke at the plate.
Radke's laid down a sacrifice bunt twice in this game so far. Did a really good job of executing jobs. Maybe look for him to do it again here.
Low. Yeah, here bottom of the 7th. It's time to try to add a little bit of insurance here. 5-run lead. TCU with 6 outs to work with. Payne at second. See if we can get him 90 feet away, less than 2 outs. Radke's the guy to do it. Show bunt, he'll lay it down third base side. Charging, making the play. Long throw, and staying on the bag is Bowen. Chatinier made the throw across. I thought Bowen may have come off the bag, but he keeps the foot on. It's another sacrifice for Rance Radke, 5-3. He does a job. Payne moves second to third.
With the runner on second, trying to get into the third base side. Make the third baseman come up and make the play. Chatinier does a really good job of charging that ball and throwing it on the run for the out, but Radke doing a great job for the 3rd time tonight, doing a job getting the ball on the ground and moving that runner.
And that might be the end of the night for Hoover as Coach Sarlos has taken the ball. We'll see our 5th Frog pitcher. 1 out, bottom of the 2nd coming in. ACU, a runner at 3rd, 5-run lead. 1 out, bottom 7th. Kirk Sarlos has gone to the bullpen again. 5th pitcher for the Frogs tonight. Hunter Hodges, the senior right-hander, will take over on the mound here. 1 out, bottom of the 7th.
Yeah, the senior from Wilmington, North Carolina. He's been good this year. He's pitched 10 innings in his 9 appearances. The 2.7 ERA, what really sticks out for him is an opponent batting average of 118. Does not allow a lot of hits to opposing hitters, and that's what the Horned Frogs need now as they try to limit some damage. As they trail 8-3 here in the bottom of the 7th. It's crunch time. It's now or never for the Horned Frogs. They can't allow any more runs on offense. They need to get the bats going as they face a midweek deficit here for the mid-major ACU Wildcats.
Hodges did pitch 2 innings versus the Wildcats back on March the 5th. 2 innings of scoreless baseball, 3 strikeouts, 2 walks, no hits in that game through 34 pitches. He worked the 6th and the 7th inning in that TCU 4-0 shutout. This one has been a 180 polar opposite of what we saw in Fort Worth. Wildcats with 7 in the 1st. Got the 8-3 lead. Zant Payne at 3rd. Garrett Williams steps in. First pitch outside. Williams tonight 1 for 3, an RBI single in the 1st. He reached on an error in the 5th.
Yeah, that error, very similar situation. 1 out and a runner on 3rd. He ripped a ground ball over to 3rd base, and Zant Payne was able to score. Similar look here in the 7th inning as well.
Horned Frog infield plays in. They'll take a hard ground ball to cut off home plate. First step of the infield dirt all the way around. Can't quite close the line on Hoover yet as Payne there at 3rd base is his ownership. 1-1, good pitch. It's 1-2.
Williams finds himself in a 2-strike count now, but a really good 2-strike hitter. He does a lot of damage on off-speed pitches, sitting on it and taking it the other way, looking for possibly a sac fly, something that ACU does really well here to score another run in the 7th.
And Bender catches the inside corner for strike 3. Big second out of the inning and a good off-speed pitch. Garrett Williams down on strikes.
Yeah, this one, front door curveball inside towards the knee of Garrett Williams. We've seen home plate umpire Trent Petrie have a pretty decently wide zone, but been very consistent on the night. He's called the inside pitch all night long, as that one is rung up there for Williams, strike 3.
Holden Rook 1 for 3, one of these 6 Wildcat doubles tonight. Jaden, an update from Dish Falk and Austin. UTRGV leads Texas 13-1 in the fifth.
Man. On paper, you would not expect that, but that's what you get out of these midweek matchups. I mean, you see ACU jump out to a 7-0 lead against TCU today, and UTRGV doing something similar over in Austin. These WAC competitors coming in and showing the Big 12 that they can play baseball too. Yeah. Baseball's a weird sport like that.
RGV will be here in Abilene here in the next few weeks. Swing and a miss. Rook down on strikes. Great job coming in, shutting the door. Hunter Hodges will move to the top of the 8th. ACU, they got an 8-3 lead here in Abilene. Call to the bullpen for Rick McCarty as we go to the top of the 8th. This is a local product from Jim Ned High School, Buffalo Gap. Blaine Palmer, the right-handed sophomore, to take over on the mound.
Yeah, Palmer only saw 2 appearances last season in 2 games. This is his 12th appearance on the year. Sub-5 ERA in 12 2/3 innings pitched. 12 strikeouts and 9 walks for the Jim Ned native. He comes in with a big 8-3 lead here in the 8th inning. The setup man trying to go to work and retire some more outs. Horned Frogs, time to get the bats hot. This time is running out here in Abilene, Texas.
Palmer, the 5th pitcher tonight. What a job by Caden Grenay, who gives 3 innings of relief, pitches the 5th, 6th, and 7th. No runs, 1 hit in his 3 innings, 4 strikeouts, 43 pitches, 11 batters faced. Palmer will start with Peyton Chutenier. Chutenier 0 for 3 tonight. A pop-up, a ground out, and a strikeout.
Palmer has definitely increased his velocity this season. That fastball there was 94 miles an hour, so sitting mid-90s and then spinning the breaking ball there at 87. So hard right-handed thrower is Palmer. One of the higher velocities on this ACU pitching staff.
Did not pitch over the weekend versus UC Davis. His last outing versus Tech last week. It's a 3-pitch strikeout. Chutenier out in front of that bender. 1 up, 1 down here in the top of the 8th.
There's that powerful slider once again from Palmer to get the swing and miss. 3 pitches, 3 strikes, and that's out 1 of the 8th inning. Great job to retire that leadoff hitter.
It's 8 strikeouts as a staff now for the Wildcats. Ryder Robinson 1 for 3, a double back in the 4th. Another swing and a miss. BYU leads Utah Tech 6-2, that score. So the Big 12 with a win tonight. Baylor over UT Arlington. RGV looks like the WAC might get one back from the Big 12. ACU trying to do the same. This ball lifted into center field. Radke over to his right. He's got it. It's a fly out to 8. 2 outs here in the 8th. Could be a night where the WAC takes at least 2 out of 4 from the Big 12. Maybe 3 if Utah Tech gets hot. Always fun to see these 2 conferences compete. Of course, proximity helps, but I think the competition level between the 2 is worthy of the Big 12 saying, you know what, we'll play WAC in midweek games. Of course, ACU already a win versus Baylor this year. 1-5 versus the Big 12 entering tonight. One more game versus BYU and Provo later this year. And BYU a 6-2 lead on Utah Tech. 1-1 here to Arthur. It's outside. Texas Tech leading Arkansas 7-2. That game down the bottom of the 5th. West Virginia playing Pittsburgh tonight. The Mountaineers have beaten Pitt 6-3, the final. This one hit left field. Ladisaw will play it off the base of the wall. Extra bases for Arthur, so round first and gets a second. It's a 2-out double. It's a 2-hit night for Jack Arthur, 2 for 4.
Yeah, really great swing and a hitter's count 3-1. This pitch, fastball right down the heart of the plate, middle. Arthur did not miss it as he drove it off the wall and left field for the 2-out double. Now flip it back up to the top of the order with Sam Myers.
Myers 1 for 4, a single and a run scored in the third. 8-3 Wildcats, top of the 8th with 2 outs. First pitch gets away from Meese, runner on the move. Maddox will eat it, no throw. And Arthur will move up to third base. So you can see that bullpen still working. Cade McGarr starting to get loose. Dash Albus, the lefty right there, starting to throw. Chandler Freeman. Plenty of arms left to try to get the last 4 outs. 1-0, this one hit a long way, but into center field. Radke, he tracks it, he's underneath it. Side retired in the top of the 8th. Blaine Palmer do a job out of the bullpen. We'll go to the bottom of the 8th. ACU hanging on to the 8-3 lead. Wildcats. We move to the bottom of the 8th. Hey, here's a look at the upcoming schedule. Again, California Baptist, the leader in the WAC, will be here in Abilene coming up this weekend. A midweek next week versus Tarleton. That is a WAC game, but not in the conference standings. Then on the road at Utah Tech for the Wildcats. For TCU, again on the road this weekend at Dish-Falk versus the Longhorns. Back at home, it's a tough midweek versus DBU, and then the Kansas State Wildcats for 3 next weekend at Lumpton Stadium. Does not get any easier for the Horned Frogs. Just trying to dig out their 11th place status currently in the Big 12 standings. Tough stretch ahead for both teams, ACU and TCU. Hunter Hodges works the 8th and came in the 7th. We'll see the top of the lineup. Benjamin Greer to lead it off.
Yeah, Hodges looked good. Striking out 2 last inning. The big curveball. Throws it hard. Throws that curveball mid to high 80s, something you don't typically see. But powerful right-hander. Did a good job retiring outs in the 7th, and now he faces the top of the order here in the 8th of the Wildcats, who are looking to tack on a couple more insurance runs before going to get the final outs of this game.
Check swing. Did he go? Yes, he did. 1 and 2. Greer does not have a hit tonight. Does have a sacrifice fly and a walk. He's stretched his on-base streak to 8 games in a row. Very efficient again in the leadoff spot here the last 2 weeks. And it skips in. Dallas Baptist has taken the lead on Oklahoma State. DBU 6, OSU 5. That's in the bottom of the 8th in Stillwater. Grand Canyon and Arizona have not first pitched yet. It's inside, 3 and 2. Tarleton in the WAC leads New Mexico State, 10-8, top of the 9th. That's a 2-game midweek series. Tarleton, New Mexico State, they'll play again tomorrow. Stanford already leads Sacramento State 8-1. That's bottom of the 3rd. Greer lifts this one left side, fairly deep, but playable. Out in left field, 2 steps shy of the track is Arthur. He'll make the catch. 1 up, 1 down here in the 8th.
Yeah, that's the 3rd flyout for Benjamin Greer in this game. Hit the ball hard there. Came off the bat at 98 miles an hour, but just too high to do any damage as that one was flied out into left field and retired for out 1.
Kirk Sarlos back out to the mound. Looks like we'll see a new Horned Frog pitcher here with 1 out in the bottom of the 8th. We'll tell you about the new Horned Frog pitcher after we step aside here on ESPN+. Jax Traeger takes over on the mound here for the Horned Frogs, the sophomore righty out of Spring, Texas, who'll make his 4th appearance of the year.
Yeah, and he's struggled this year so far. See that really high ERA, but only pitched 1 1/3 innings in those 3 appearances so far. 2023 season, it was good. Sub-5 ERA, went 2-0 in his 11 2/3 innings pitched there. Sophomore from Spring, Texas, coming into the game, trying to mop up here with the last 2 outs of the 8th inning before TCU has their last shot on offense in the 9th. They trail 8-3 here in Abilene, Texas.
8 runs, 9 hits, no errors for the Wildcats. 3 runs, 9 hits, 2 errors for the Horned Frogs. Both of those errors have been costly for TCU. Miller Ladisol has a double to his name tonight. 1 for 3, a walk, a run scored, and a double. The WAC player of the week, Miller Ladisol, extended his hitting streak to 7. May have hit him on the shoe top. Miller stays at the box.
Yeah, I don't know if he thought it. I don't know if he knew if it hit him on the shoe or not. He looked like, did that hit me? But he stays in the box and faces a 2-0 count now.
Traeger's 2-0. Ladisol hit this the opposite way. A long run for Arthur all the way at the wall and just foul. Left the yard, but foul. That's a power stroke, 335 the opposite way. Right down into the corner, but a foul ball.
Yeah, we mentioned it earlier, the power the Ladisol has, especially to the opposite side of the field. He hit one hard to left field back in the 4th inning. Well, that double that he had, his lone hit of the game. And that one, outside pitch, hit well. But in foul territory off the wall. 2-1 now the count.
Stays off of this one. Arkansas has scored 5 in the bottom of the 5th. Texas Tech hanging on to a 7-6 lead, but the Razorbacks have pulled back to a 1-run game. That's a 2-game midweek series. The Red Raiders and Hogs will play again tomorrow. There's a Ladisol swing and a miss. 3 balls and 2 strikes. And RGV is just pounding Texas. 15-1, bottom of the 6th. They've scored in all 6 innings. Check swing, did he go? And yes, he did. Ladisol down on strikes. Byrne will apply the tag. It's first strikeout of the night for Traeger. 2 down in the 8th.
And there's a look at the check swing. He definitely did offer as the wrist broke. And the bat broke the plane.
Let's go, Gino!
It's his 2nd strikeout of the night, 2nd in a row. 2 outs now in the 8th.
Gino D'Alessio, 1 for 3. Ropes this one into left field. Right at a diving Arthur. Does he come up with it? Yes, he does. Great catch. Jack Arthur in left field. The side is retired. We'll go to the top of the 9th. ACU the 8-3 lead. Top of the 9th, ACU the 8-3 lead. Trying to close it out. They'll go to Cade McGarr, who will take over on the mound. First pitch fastball to Carson Bowen for a strike. There's a look at Cade, the transfer from Texas Tech.
Yeah, McGarr, the 2-way player, also plays shortstop. Not in the lineup tonight, but in the 9th inning here on the mound for the Wildcats to come in and close this game up. McGarr's been good. His 18 2/3 innings has an ERA at 3.38 with 18 strikeouts, and it leads the team and the WAC with 3 saves on the year. Of course, this not a position for a save, but able to hopefully close this game out for the Wildcats and get a win against TCU on a Tuesday night.
It's been a tough stretch for Cade, so good to see Rick McCarty get him on the mound here in this top of the 9th. 1-2 to Bowen. Stay outside. Bowen a 2-hit night tonight, a single and a double. McGarr lost the only game in the SFA series as well as the only game in the UC Davis series. And in between that, the starting pitcher versus Texas Tech last week. So it's been a tough stretch here for Cade over the course of the last 10 days. Got a full count to Carson Bowen. 7 runs in the bottom of the first for ACU. They led throughout. Bowen will drive this one right center field. Long run, Radke. He's got it. He's tracked it in the right center field gap. He'll make the catch. Radke's had a great night out in center field tonight. Makes another one. First out at the top of the ninth.
Yeah, a really selfless player, Radke. We've seen him at the plate with 3 sacrifice bunts and played a really great defensive center field today.
Curtis Byrne 0 for 4 tonight. Did reach on a drop third strike. ACU with the 7 in the first. TCU had 2 in the third, 1 in the 5th. Got back to within 7-3. ACU a single run in the bottom of the 5th. Caden Grenay shut the door in that 5th inning. 3 innings of scoreless relief. We think he's in line for the win tonight. Brett Garcia did go 2 innings to start. Grenay 3 innings of scoreless relief there in the middle. Should be in line for the win tonight.
Yeah, great outing for both of those guys. Garcia's thrown 4 really good innings against TCU. 2 back in March up in Fort Worth and 2 today here in Abilene.
Just fouled at the plate. Burned down to his side. He'll pop back up. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Braden Sloan, a tough outing tonight. The starting pitcher for the Frogs faced 5 batters. All 5 reached. All 5 scored. Kirk Sarlos made the switch after 5 batters. The bleeding did not stop as the Wildcats put up 7 runs in that first inning. 7 runs, 5 hits, and a big error by the Horned Frogs there in the first inning that kept that inning alive.
Yeah, there on that replay. Take a look at that. Ooh, nasty changeup from McGar. McGar likes to throw that changeup. Has really good downward sinking movement. Of course, that'll get a foul ball off the foot of a hitter, of a right-handed hitter. You see there. McGar also throws the slider, fastball, and a little bit of a sinker. There again was the changeup. A really good strikeout pitch for McGar.
2-2 to Byrne. Outside. The Frogs in Austin Friday. The Wildcats hosting CBU on Friday. Back to conference play. Grounder up the middle into center field. And Curtis Byrne will get his first hit of the night, a 1-out single here in the 9th.
Really great at bat there from Byrne. Working to a full count and then just take a outside fastball and ground it up the middle of the field for a single. Take another look at it. Solid piece of hitting from the 3-hole, who needed his first hit of the night.
1 for 5 night for the senior. There's Anthony Silva. 1 for 3 tonight. The 2-run single in the 3rd chipped into that 7-run deficit, made it 7-2. It's also walked, stolen 2 bases. Behind in the count 0-2. 10 hits for TCU. It's a double-digit hit games. Just the 5th time in 22 games that they've had double-digit hits. There's a swing and a miss, strike 3. And McGar has his first strikeout tonight. 2 outs here in the 9th.
Yeah, there's that changeup. He threw it for strike 2 and strike 3, both swings and misses from Silva. And a big strikeout for out number 2. You mentioned TCU, with the amount of hits they've had today, doing a good job of getting runners on base, but this Wildcat defense playing really solid behind their pitching staff, and the staff doing a good job of throwing strikes, not allowing those base runners to come home and score.
Frogs have stranded runners in 7 of the first 8 innings. 10 total through the first 8 innings. The big inning was the 5th. They had the bases loaded, nobody out. They got back to 7-3, bases loaded, nobody out, and Grenay leaves the bases loaded. That was really big difference in this one. As ACU 1 out away from their 22nd win of the year. Their second win versus the Big 12. It's the 1-1. Fastball for a strike. It's 1-2. Ten Power 5 wins in the Rick McCarty era. One pitch away from number 11. The 1-2. Hit back up the middle into center field. A 2-out single, and the inning continues. Byrne will move up to second. First and second with 2 outs. I'm guessing we might see a pinch hitter here in the 6th spot. I believe it's Jack Basier.
Yeah, Basier stepping in the box now for the Horned Frogs. The sophomore out of Pleasanton, California, played his freshman year at Pepperdine University. He led the team in batting average, hitting .345. Also led the team in hits with 58. Has a chance to keep TCU alive here in the 9th inning with runners on first and second and 2 outs.
.237 the average, 9 for 38. Lagar starts him off with a fastball. Boyers will end the night 3 for 4 tonight. 3 singles and a walk, a stolen base. Good night for Boyers here at Crusher Scott. Here's the 0-1. Bender for a strike, it's 0-2.
Lagar once again 1 pitch away from wrapping up this midweek game against Big 12 opponent TCU.
9 strikeouts as a staff. Lagar is 1 pitch away from strikeout number 10. The kick, the 0-2. Chopper foul, will do 0-2 again. It's an ACU staff that averages just over 10 strikeouts per 9 innings pitched. Lead the WAC in that category. Go, 0-2 to Bercier, will try it again. The kick, the 0-2. This one hit a long way in left field. Ladisaw, a long run, and it will tail foul. Ladisaw had a chance in foul territory to get there, but runs out of real estate. We'll do 0-2 for a 3rd time.
Lagar went to the slider there. Left it in on the plate just a little bit. Basier able to get his barrel to it. Hit it high and hard, but too far foul for Ladisaw to make a play. Look for McGar to go to that changeup here. It's his best pitch, and he needs a strikeout right now.
3rd time, the 0-2. They'll stay outside. Overthrew the fastball. It's 1-2.
Not a bad miss by McGar. Fastball way outside, setting up that changeup low and in, like he likes to go to. Looking for a swing and miss here, or maybe a weak ground ball. McGar 1 pitch away from ending this ball game.
1-2. Swung on and missed for strike 3. McGar's 2nd strikeout, the staff's 10th as a night. Win number 22 on the year is a big one for just the 3rd time in series history. The Wildcats of ACU take down the Horned Frogs. 8-3, your final tonight from Crutcher Scott Field. For the Wildcats, 8 runs, 9 hits, no errors committed. The Frogs, 3 runs, 11 hits, 2 errors committed by TCU. They were both big. They were both run producing for ACU as they get the 8-3 win. A 7-run bottom of the 1st was the difference. 7 runs, 5 hits in the 1st inning of work. The Wildcats put 11 batters at the plate. Jaden, it was a good night at the ballpark here for the Wildcats.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, in the midweek matchup, I think people around the ballpark here in Abilene knew that Abilene Christian had the chance to capture this win, but it was going to come up to the offense. Could they produce against a really great Horned Frog pitching staff? And they did here in the 1st inning, putting up 7 runs and winning 8-3.
Let's send it down to Coy and Zion, field level. Guys, it's all yours.
Thanks, Andy. Welcome to the postgame portion of this broadcast on ESPN Plus. Welcome to the first base side. Coy Oslin, Zion Webb down here. ACU wins 8-3, their third all-time win against the Horned Frogs in 15 meetings. ACU's second win versus a Big 12/Power 5 opponent this season after beating Baylor earlier in February. Well, Zion, it was a better game than I think a lot of people for the home side thought it was going to be. What went right for the Wildcats in this one?
Yeah, big time. It was just attacking early. They got to the pitchers and also just a little bit of small ball. They had the ability to get on base, steal some bases, get in the pitcher's head. That was big for them. But also conversely, I think Coach McCarthy did a great job switching up the pitchers and doing a great job this time with the pitching staff. I know last week we had a little bit of an upset with 21 runs getting up on our pitchers, but only 3 runs today. It was great to watch, and they did an awesome job. Coy, what do you think about this game?
I think about the big plays. Zion, Maddox Misi, 3 RBI double back in the first, and then a bases loaded, no outs jam for Caden Grenay, where he gets 3 straight outs and 2 strikeouts to unload those bases in the 5th inning. You know, looking back at TCU, they've got a big series coming up this weekend against Texas at UFCU, Disch-Falk Field in Austin. What do you think they need to do to put this one behind them?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is just making sure that you put it behind you. My dad always told me that you're not as good as your best game. You're definitely not as worse as you're not as bad as your worst. So for them to make sure they get evenly killed and keep their confidence, this game is only one of plenty, and they'll have multiple times and opportunities to bounce back and do way better than this.
And, of course, Zion, this does not affect them as far as Big 12 play goes. TCU has to continue to play well in conference play. They've got big opportunities coming up to play some big teams, get that RPI number up, and start looking better as the season continues. Any final thoughts from today for you?
Yeah, honestly, just for TCU, remembering the name that's on their chest, TCU, the Horned Frogs, they got confidence, man. People enjoy them and love watching them. They think they're going to do good this year. So for them, just forget about this game and continue going, pushing forward.
And Zion, I couldn't agree any further for you, but ACU on this end, this is a big momentum win. They've looked good in recent weeks, especially in conference play. They've looked solid. I really have to look forward to their future this year. They got big series coming up against schools like GCU.
Yeah, they're getting hot right at the right time, man. I love it, and it's good. Tonight, they should celebrate this. Get excited. Let this build their momentum into this weekend series. I don't know, though. Try to keep the celebration a little low. I know a lot of them have it 8 a.m. tomorrow, so just continue to let this thrive and live through this moment.
All right, that's it for us down here. Thank you, friends, for watching. We're going to send it back over to Andy.
Coy, Zion, great job. 6 pitchers combined for the win tonight. Brett Garcia, 2 innings of scoreless baseball. Caden Grenay, 3 innings of scoreless baseball. Blaine Palmer, Cade McGard shut the door there in the late innings to get the 8-3 win. Again, 8 runs, 9 hits, 0 errors for the Wildcats, 3-11-2 for TCU. Zant Payne, a big night at the dish tonight. 3 for 4, 2 doubles, a single, 2 runs scored. And down field level, Daisy Strine has Zant Payne. Daisy?
Thanks, Andy. I'm here with Zant. Zant, what does a big win like this mean to you against a Power 5 team, your second big win of the season against a team like this?
Yeah, especially this late in the season. It's something that's going to get us rocking and rolling and hopefully end on a good note and end on a big run to hopefully go to regional.
Looking forward to this series against California Baptist, the #1 team in the WAC. What does this game give you momentum for?
I mean, our pitchers dominated, our hitting has been dominating, so hopefully we'll bring that into this weekend and get another series win.
All right, thank you. Congratulations, guys. We'll send it back to you.
Thank you, Daisy. 8-3, the final score. The Wildcats get the win. Hey, this is the presentation of the Western Athletic Conference on ESPN. All games are airing live and streaming on the ESPN app. For the whole team, Jaden, Daisy, Coy, Zion, and led by Hutton Harris, I'm Andy Penny. Take care. Good night. So long from Abilene, Texas.